another warm evening in Oakland, California. The temperature today reached into the low 90s. And it is a perfect night now that it's begun to cool off a little bit, and there is a breeze blowing in from left field for this fifth game of the World Series. And let's again call in the voice of the Los Angeles Dodgers. Good evening, Vin Scully.
Thank you, Jim, and hi, everybody, and a very pleasant good evening to you, wherever you may be. The Dodgers and the Oakland A's about ready to go. Certainly a great deal of uncertainty, but there are several things that we can be certain about. And number one is the money. This year's player pool of the 1974 World Series has set a record, $1,258,000. That's quite a pie to be cut up. In fact, to put it in its proper perspective, we did a little research on it. Back in 1905, in the second World Series, the total player pool was $27,000. This year, the winning player will each receive $25,000. But back in 1905, the clubs had to put in extra money so that each winning player could get about $1,100 and each loser $800. That was a 5-game series, and 91,000 spectators saw it, averaging 75 cents an admission. Baseball has come a long way. The players' pool of the first game was 350 in the second game, both of them in Los Angeles, and 275 in each of the two games played here in Oakland. So it's the biggest pie in history, and the boys are ready to cut it up. In fact, the city of Oakland is ready to cut it up. They have prepared a victory celebration. Should it come tonight, they'll have the street parades tomorrow. For the Dodgers, they are certain of one other thing. This is a going-home night, no matter what. They either go home alone, a loser, or they go home with the A's and still alive. And it'll be in capable hands tonight of Vida Blue and Don Sutton. So many times in the clutch, the Dodgers have looked to Don Sutton to get them squared away, and he has bailed them out. He has bailed them out to the tune of 12 straight times. In fact, Sutton is so effective and has been so effective in the last 2 months, it is hard to believe that in the middle of the season, he went 2 months and 14 starts without picking up a victory. Not only that, but in those 14 starts, he came out a loser 6 times. So Sutton has turned himself around, and he comes in having already won a World Series game and getting help from Mike Marshall, and having won 19 games thanks to the spurt of 12 straight. Meanwhile, the A's have somewhat of an enigma themselves in left-hander Vida Blue. Vida Blue, a 17-game winner, lost 15, and he is as unpredictable as the weather. Although someone did some research on Vida and his age, Vida is 25 years old. They look back at some of the records of the great left-handers in baseball history. Fellas like Lefty Grove, Carl Hubble, Sandy Koufax, and Warren Spahn. And all 4 of those left-handers did not win 20 games until they were over 25 years old. In fact, the great Hubble did not win 20 games until he was 30. Well, here is Vida Blue, just a kid, and he's already won 20 games twice, and he'll put that valuable left arm out on the sunlight tonight. Which brings up still another point. The Dodgers saw Vida Blue in Los Angeles. It was the first time they had seen him for the money. They got a good look at him, and they know he has an explosive fastball. He made one mistake, perhaps, when Joe Ferguson hit the home run. But everybody was convinced that Vida has an A1 fastball. Well, when you throw as hard as he does, and now you suddenly play at 530 in a ballpark that is certainly not famous for the brightness of its light, the Dodger hitters had better be loose when they check in against the left-hander tonight. So the stage is set. It looks like it'll be another capacity crowd. That would put it up to 49,347. There might be still another certainty that we didn't have with us last night, and that's the starting lineup. Last night, we chatted, as usual, with Alvin Dark before the ball game. He gave us the lineup, and Gene Tennis was sitting 6th. Unbeknownst to us, later on, owner Charles Finley held a pregame meeting, switched the lineup around, benching Tennis, playing Claudel Washington. So today, we filled out 2 lineup cards for the A's, one with Washington, one with Tennis. Then played a little game with Alvin, asking him for his A lineup and his B lineup. He said it would be the Claudel Washington lineup tentatively. We said tentatively, meaning based on a player who could be injured. He said no, and we all knew it was based on the whim of owner Charlie Finley. Well, evidently, it'll be Claudell Washington in left field. Meanwhile, here in the Coliseum, the Dodgers, with the manager and the starting lineup being introduced, whether it will be the last time they will be introduced in the World Series or not this year remains to be seen. Their lineup, no surprises. Davey Lopes will open it up, followed by Bill Buckner. And Buckner, the only left-hander going day after day, will be challenging Vida Blue. For that matter, Buckner is the only outspoken Dodger, and he's the one, I guess, who has put a little more pressure on himself. Buckner is from nearby Vallejo. He has been outspoken, somewhat critical of the A's. A quote attributed to him today in the paper in talking about the walk to Bill North. Buckner said, "North could not get a hit off my mother." Well, these things were used by Charlie Finley yesterday in a pregame chat with the A's. How serious an effect his quotes had on the A's, Reggie Jackson summed it up, and so did Sal Bando. Bando, when asked about the meeting, said it gave me 5 minutes more rest. Well, the Dodgers had a meeting themselves tonight. It was a typical low-key profile chat by Walter Alston to the players. And basically, Alston just told his players, you are not doing what you have been doing all year. You are trying to pull everything. The A's pitchers have kept the ball away from you, and yet you continue to try to pull. Just how long will you play in this series before you learn? Learning, of course, is that part of maturity that the A's have. It was one of their strong points in coming into this series. The A's do not score a lot, they do not hit a lot, but they win a lot. They have won 2 straight championships. They're coming up to the 3rd one, and they have the deciding edge, 3 games to 1. Only 3 times in history has a team down 3 games to 1 come back. 3 times, way back in 1925. The Pittsburgh Pirates, down 3 games to 1, beat the Washington Senators. In 1958, the New York Yankees were down 3 games to 1 to the Milwaukee Braves. Turned that around to win it. And as recently as 1968, the Detroit Tigers turned it around and beat the St. Louis Cardinals 3 games to 1. It is interesting to note that 1968 is perhaps the most significant year in recent Dodger history, because most of the kids in the lineup tonight, most of the kids who got the Dodgers this far were in the draft of 1968. And we're talking about fellas like Buckner and Garvey and Ferguson and Say. Steve Garvey, by the way, the most recent father on the Dodger squad. His wife delivered a baby girl last night. And after the ball game, Garvey, not at all dismayed by the defeat, climbed on the plane, flew back to Los Angeles, saw his wife and baby girl, spent the night in Los Angeles, and flew back here for the game. That puts the World Series, I'm sure, in a proper perspective, as he went home as a brand new daddy and came back passing out cigars before this one tonight. You're listening to the World Series coverage on NBC. Here at the Coliseum, the crowd standing, the color guard marching in from center field. And in a moment, Gordon McRae will sing our national anthem. The colors tonight, Headquarters Company, United States Army Garrison of the Presidio in San Francisco. And now for the national anthem, Mr. Gordon McRae.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight for the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the
with the starting lineups in 1 minute.
11 p.m. A neat little row of houses sleep under the cover of quiet moonlight. A perfect rhythm of picket fences runs down the street. A finger of light traces the window of an unsuspecting bungalow. Up slides the window. Minutes later, two shadows make off with the treasures it took you years to collect. You walk in just after midnight. You call the cavalry. The Kemper Cavalry. Whether you own your own home or rent, the Kemper Insurance Companies and the independent agents who represent us will ride to your rescue. Fire, theft, or property damage, they'll be there. With professional 24-hour claim service, you'll find it's not only fast, it's fair. An independent agent near you is listed in the yellow pages under Kemper Insurance. The Kemper Insurance Companies. We're with you for the long ride.
We're at the Oakland Coliseum on another hot night. It was 90 degrees in downtown Oakland, and the weather certainly hasn't cooled off considerably, even though we go into the evening. First ball ceremonies are about ready to get underway. Rock Hudson, who plays the police commissioner of San Francisco in the television series McMillan and Wife, will throw out the first ball. Gordon McRae has sung the national anthem. The umpires, Andy Olson of the National League, will be behind the plate. Ron Luciano at first, Tom Gorman at second, Bill Kunkel of the American League at third. On the foul lines, Don Denkinger will be on the right field foul line. Doug Harvey of the National League will be on the left field foul line. Vida Blue has concluded his warm-ups. Don Sutton, however, is still throwing in the Dodger bullpen. In talking about starting pitching, you see that all the time in the World Series, but you don't see finishing pitching. The last time we have had a complete game in the World Series was in 1971, when the Pittsburgh Pirates had right-hander Steve Blass start and finish a World Series game and beat Baltimore 2-1. So we'll see whether that holds up or not. Talking about holding up, it's the same story for relief pitchers. Raleigh Fingers, he made his third relief appearance of the series. That extends his own World Series record, 15. And, of course, Mike Marshall continues to show up in every Dodger ball game, and that's certainly not news. But news is this is game number 5 of the World Series between the Dodgers and the A's. If the Dodgers lose, it's over. If the Dodgers win, we'll go back to Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles. We'll pause 10 seconds for station identification.
You're listening to WTHI, Terre Haute, currently 64 degrees at 7:30.
We're at the Coliseum, the Oakland Alameda County Coliseum. The Oakland A's have taken the field. And now for the starting lineups and the play-by-play, here's Jim Simpson.
All right, Vin Scully. Vida Blue now on the mound, about to take his warm-ups along with Ray Fosse. At first base tonight, the same lineup as last night. Joe Rudy is over there. Gene Tennis is in the dugout, and Tennis, after being benched last night and last minute decision, said that he raged and was enraged throughout the entire ball game. He saw some action defensively in the 9th inning last night, but Tennis again tonight, home run hitter, hero of 2 World Series ago, is on the bench. So the left fielder, Joe Rudy, an excellent left fielder, is again called on to play at first base. Dick Greeny, 3 double plays 2 nights ago, and last night, of course, a game-ending double play that was a super dive to his right to shut down the rally of the Dodgers in the 9th inning as Oakland won that ball game 5-2. Campaneris at shortstop. Sal Bando got his first base hit. A line drive single to right when Jam last night drove in his first run of the ball game as a third. Odell Washington again out in left field. Billy North, credited with not much hitting but some super catches thus far, is in center field. Reggie Jackson, apparently nearly completely back from a hamstring pull, is in right field. And Blue, Fosse, and Bando now talking before throwing the first pitch to Davy Lopes, to be followed by Bill Buckner and Jimmy Wynn. Game number 5. Lopes has had 2 hits and 16 trips. A .266 hitter during the regular season, a speedster who bats from the right side. Lopes, on the first pitch of the game, looks down to Tom Lasorda, the coach at third base. And now steps in. Blue, of course, has the fastball. Several different kinds of fastballs. Ferguson hit him with a high inside fastball. He likes to keep it away and low if he can. Lopes swinging on a fastball, fouls it off to the right. Blue is much more effective, as you would think, when his fastball is down low. If the Dodgers didn't believe that, they began to believe it when Ferguson got one inside and high and belted it at least 420 feet for a home run in the second game. Another fastball misses inside. Blue also has fastballs that run into a right-hander or away from a right-hander. He's got a different variety of fastballs. Another one, and he's missed with 2, and it's 2-1. 2 balls, 1 strike to Davy Lopes. Back with yet another fastball, and misses down low, and this one Blue doesn't like. 3-1. Vita walked 2, struck out 5, gave up 3 runs in 7 innings on Sunday. Don Sutton just now begins to take a seat in the Dodger bullpen as Vita comes back on the 3-1 pitch and catches the inside corner. That's the fastball that rides in for the right-hander, Davy Lopes. Some of his fastballs move so well, they actually look like breaking pitches. Working quickly, back, ground ball. Bando will take it on the second hop at third base, throws on and gets the speedy Lopes. There's 1 out. So Vita was down 3-1 to Lopes, then 3-2, and then got him on the bouncer to Sal Bando at third. Here's Bill Buckner. As Ben told you, the most loquacious, outspoken of all the Dodgers. He's had 4 hits thus far and 17 trips, including a home run. Buckner down in the afternoon sun at Dodger Stadium struck out for the only time in this series. He was called out looking, takes a pitch for a strike, and Buckner said he never saw the pitch. During the regular season, Bill would only strike out about once every 26 times up, but Blue has the only strikeout on him in this series. Left-handed batter, swing, tried to check, but went around, and it's quickly 2 strikes. Blue, when he is right, can hang right in there with Don Sutton, who is more noted for his curveball. I was in Baltimore, and Vita shut out the Orioles 1-0, and have not seen him throw that well in 3 years. Fastball fouled off the end of the bat, and back to home plate. Buckner down 0-2. 1 out, top of the first, Game 5 of the '74 World Series. There's no score. Oakland leads in games 3-1, and as Ben told you, only 3 times before has a team been down 3 games to 1 and come back to win the World Series. Blue ready. Ball is popped up to the left side. Campaneris is there, back near the edge of the infield, and now takes it behind third base. And that'll bring up Jim Wynn, hitting at .271, 32 home runs, and 108 RBIs. Wynn played last night despite the fact he had jammed his hand getting back to the bag in game number 3 of the World Series, and turned in an outstanding catch last night. 3 hits, including a home run in the series. Fastball is high and off the top of the glove of Fosse, rolls back to the screen. Ball 1. Wynn is looking out to a background of a sun-drenched center field bleacher section. Blue stands in the shade, as does Wynn. Fastball right down the middle. 1 ball, 1 strike. Blue is difficult to hit any time with that background. He's going to be very difficult in the early going. Wynn stands in and takes another. This time, Vita took a little bit off. And it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Lopes was ahead of Blue. Buckner fell behind 0-2, and now Wynn finds himself down in the count. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And Blue right back with the fastball. It's too low. 2 balls, 2 strikes. The A's have never out-hit the Dodgers in this series, but they lead 3 games to 1. They've had as many hits, but not more than the Dodgers. And that has the Dodgers talking among themselves. They get the base hits. The A's get more runs. 2-2 with 2 out, and that ball just misses the outside corner. It is a National League umpire who is behind the plate tonight. They call the National League a low ball league. If Blue does have his fastball rise, not only will the Dodgers jump on him, but so will the umpires. Ball is popped up. It'll be playable. Rudy off first base in foul territory, chasing it down, and has it. So Vita Blue looks very effective. No runs, no hits, no errors, and none left. At the top of the first, there's no score.
It's World Series time, and take it from me, Joe Garagiola, these teams have come a long way. And I'd like to talk to you about a car that's come a long way, too. The 1975 Charger Special Edition. There's been a change in Charger. It's a whole new car, dedicated to handsome styling and individual comfort. Steel-belted radials, power steering, and automatic transmission are just some of its notable standard features. And here's the clincher. Chrysler Corporation's new 12-month, unlimited mileage car warranty. For the first 12 months of use, any Chrysler Motors Corporation dealer will fix, without charge for parts or labor, any part of our 1975 passenger cars we supply, except tires, which proves defective in normal use regardless of mileage. That's it. All you have to do is take care of normal maintenance service, such as changing filters and wiper blades. Charger Special Edition 1975, a personal car for a discriminating driver. At your Dodge dealers now.
Well, there he is out on the mound, Don Sutton. 29 years old, born in Clio, Alabama, now lives in Glendale, California, won 19 games during the regular season, but that's just part of the story. He has a 12-game winning streak. He has won 16 and lost only one since the All-Star game. And that includes 2 wins in the championship series against the Pirates and a win in the second game of the World Series. In the last 32 innings, Don Sutton, tonight the hope of the Dodgers, has allowed only 3 runs in the last 32 innings for an earned run average of 0.84. He, of course, bested Vida Blue on Sunday in the second game of the series, allowing 2 runs in 6 hits, 2 walks, and 9 strikeouts. He'll face Campy Campaneris, hitting .308 in the series. Sutton, the right-hander, throws the good curveball and misses. Curveball is his bread and butter. Say is in on the grass at third. Campaneris can bunt extremely well. No scores. We begin the last of the first. Sutton, the right-hander, right back, and throws a fastball, and Campaneris is out in front of it. 1 ball, 1 strike. Connor waved at that pitch. On deck is Bill North, of whom Bill Buckner said, "My mother could get him out." North has not been effective at all from the left side. His base hitters come from the right side. Another swing and a miss on a breaking pitch from Don Sutton, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Vida Blue got him in order. Don Sutton starting out the bottom of the first. Bobby Winkle's coaching at third. Jerry Adair at first. Yeager sets the target. Another breaking pitch. Did not go around. Yeager looks down very quickly to Ron Luciano, the umpire at first base, who gives the safe sign, checking the swing. It's 2-2. Sutton says he feels no pressure. Outside and low with the breaking ball. It's 3-2. Garvey at first, Lopes at second, Russell at shortstop, Say the third baseman. From left to right in the outfield, Buckner, Wynn and Ferguson, Yeager behind the plate. At a 3-2 count to the leadoff man, same as Vida Blue had to Davey Lopes back in the Dodger half of this inning. 3-2 pitch is lined into short center field. Came in with the fastball, and Campaneris pitched on it and picked up the first base hit. And that'll bring up Bill North. Now, North has not been effective. And when he is effective, it is generally from the right side of the plate. He is batting left-handed. He's a switch hitter. And let's see if Bill North is up there to move along Campaneris. When you face a man like Don Sutton, you'll take a run as early or any time you can get one. You'll need any and all you can possibly muster. North squares around the bunt. Misses the bunt. It's a strike. North looking down to Winkles. The coach at third is standing on deck as Sal Bando. Andy Olson calls time for a moment, and now they're going to take a look at the baseball of Don Sutton. And it's going to be thrown out. Olson will give Sutton a new one. I think I told you the story last night. Speaking of pressure, Don Sutton said, when I was going bad in the first half of the season, 6 and 8, when my 5-year-old went up to the balcony and started screaming at the neighbors, "Daddy can't pitch anymore, we may have to move," that was pressure. North tries to bunt again and fouls it back. Billy North in the outfield has had a wonderful World Series, some superior catches at the plate. He has 1 for 13 and has failed in 2 bunt attempts here to move over Campaneris. And with a 2-strike count, both men have speed. Let's see what the sign is. A quick check to Campaneris at first base. score in the last of the first. Sutton again makes the move to first, and again without a slide. Campaneris is back. North down 0-2, and Billy talking to umpire Andy Olson about something. Campaneris not going. The ball is swung on and fouled out of play off to the left. Last night we broke our scheme. The first 3 games, for only the second time in World Series history, went to a count of 3-2. Oakland won the first and third, the Dodgers the second. Last night, in the 6th inning, Oakland got 4 runs and broke the routine and won 5-2. Now this time, Sutton simply looks Campaneris back to first base. Campy with 2 strikes might be going. Pretty good lead for Campaneris. He is not going, and the pitch misses outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes to North. Sutton, after winning against the Pirates in the first game of the championship series, said it was a textbook performance. He'd like to put it on the textbook and pitch like that for the next 8 to 10 years. Campaneris may have pulled a muscle slightly in trying to get back to first base. Ron Luciano has stopped play for the moment. Jerry Adair has walked over to Campaneris to say, "Are you all right?" Campy stays in the ballgame. 1 ball, 2 strikes. North waits. Campy again with a good lead. Again, a throw over to first base, and he's back. 4 times now, Sutton has checked Campaneris at first, and once he has stepped off. The count of 1-2. He is not going. The ball is hit up the middle. Russell at short. Over to Lopes at second. Back to first. They've not got him. North with his speed from the left side makes it. Slow roller, and Lopes couldn't turn over the double play. So North, who led the American League in stolen bases, is up at first base, and Sal Bando steps up to the batter's box. Bando got his first hit last night, a single to right field with a count of 2 strikes on him. He was jammed with the pitch, but Bando will go to the other field, and he was trying to hit to right and did successfully hit to right. Went with the pitch. Bando, there's North on his way. The throw's way offline. North will gallop on to third. Yeager, the strong-arm accurate catcher, throws at least 5 feet up the line toward first base. A throwing error. North gets the stolen base and goes to third on the throwing error by Steve Yeager. Well, you wonder about the maturity of the Los Angeles Dodgers. They well could pull this out. But the wonder before the game was how a group of youngsters, only 3 of whom were on the roster back in 1966, would react to this kind of pressure when win and you're in it and lose and it's over for the year. Walter Alston has told his infield to come in. So Say, Russell, Lopes, and Garvey are all in. For Sal Bando, and you call him strike 1. Yeager has gunned down a couple of men and nearly picked some men off first base. But that time his throw was way up the line. Sutton now ready. Goes to Bando, and the fastball backs Bando out of there. 1-1. Bando with a count of 1-1 looks down to Winkles before stepping back in. North, a short lead off third base. Sutton throws, swing and a miss. When Sutton shut out the Dodgers, or rather shut out the Pirates for the Dodgers in the opening game of the playoff series, he was asked whether or not he looked at the scouting report. He said the bus left for the ballpark at 10. I didn't wake up till 10:45. I just got over there and pitched. Right back, breaking ball is fouled at the plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Of course, especially in your own league championships, you have seen the other team more than a few times, a full quota of times. In the outfield, the background is getting a little bit better. The sun has crept more than halfway up. The bleachers out there, so the top half of the bleachers are in sun, the lower half in the shade. Sutton back to Bando, who pops it up, foul out of play. The count remains 1 ball, 2 strikes. We have no score, 1 out in the last of the first, and Billy North over at third base, forcing Campaneris at second, stealing second base, and riding on to third on Yeager's throw into center field. Dodgers went down 1-2-3 in their half of the first. Bando, of course, played way around the pull, although occasionally he will go with the pitch, and Sutton's got a good curve ball. Inside with the fastball, however, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. This, by far and away, is not only perhaps the warmest day in Oakland for the World Series, but the clearest day. Other nights at this hour, there's been no sun problem at all. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Bando with the closed stance deep in the batter's box. Swings at an inside pitch and fouls it off his fist. It's 2-2. If the Dodgers win, everybody goes back to Los Angeles to resume the series for the 6th game of the World Series Saturday afternoon. The Dodgers lose. Well, we go back to the Hot Stove League looking ahead to next year. 2-2, the curveball has popped up, twisting foul, and back out of play. Ron Cey had come over from third base all the way to the stack of photographers down behind home plate, just in case. Yeager didn't break back. Cey had it in sight and gave it the run just in case. 2-2 with the infield drawn in, and North at third base. Sutton throws a change out to center field. Back goes Buckner. He's got it. North tags, and it'll be 1-0 Oakland. Bando drives in his second run of the series. And that run at the moment remains unearned since North got as far as third base on a throwing error. Reggie Jackson up with the bases empty. The infield moves back, and they pull around to the right for Jackson, who can hit to left field and has hit home runs to the opposite field, including one in the first game of the World Series of Andy Messersmith. Jackson hitting .333, 4 for 12. He's walked 4 times, and the only RBI he has came on the home run in the first game. Now a little police work done out in center field. Rolls of paper were thrown onto the field when Billy North scored the first run of the ball game. Jackson will adjust his glasses at home plate. Yeager, who also wears glasses, by the way, the catcher is kneeling at home plate, as umpire Doug Harvey has done the police work. The Players Association rated umpires and rated Doug Harvey the best in the National League. Harvey took exception for all of his colleagues and wrote a stinging letter saying, "I object you rating us. We don't rate you. Say what you want to us to the commissioner's office or to the league office, but don't say anything publicly." Sutton throws inside and almost looked as though it had hit Reggie Jackson, but it did not. Skip back off the glove of Yeager, and it's ball 1. Jackson, the center of controversy. 29 home runs during the regular season, 93 RBIs. Fastball is up high, and Sutton falls behind Reggie Jackson 2-0. 1-0 here in the last of the first. Oakland leads it. Ryder Blue has been given a slim 1-run lead. Fastball misses outside, and Sutton, pretty good control pitcher, got in trouble going to 3-2 on Campaneris. Was ahead of Bando, but gave up the line drive to left that scored the run. And now Jackson has him at a 3-0 count. Comes back and misses outside on 4 pitches. Reggie Jackson walks. Ron Sutton may go on to win this ball game, but at the moment he doesn't look as razor sharp as he has in the outings that we've seen him in the series and in the championship playoffs. Joe Rudi tonight at first base has 3 RBIs, hitting .267 with 4 base hits. Jackson, with that hamstring not bothering him as much, is a threat to go at first base. He's not going. The pitch is a breaking ball from the outside corner for strike 1. They play Rudy almost straight away. Wins slightly to right center field. Ever so slightly. Garvey holding Jackson on at first base. Sutton throws, and Yeager bluffs Jackson back to first. Yeager's got the great move. On Sunday and Saturday, he was throwing to first base, but he has a wild throw here thus far tonight that directly led to a run. That time, he just cocked his arm, and Jackson scampered back. 1-1 the count. Sutton throws, fastball, foul back. Good pitch, and Rudy had a good rip. 1-2. Sutton was almost signed by Charles O. Finley when the Athletics were in Kansas City. Story is, Finley asked him what his nickname was, and when he didn't come up with a catfish or a blue moon or something, Finley said, "You don't belong here." Sutton went on to sign with the Dodgers and become the star he is now. Rudy, the right-handed batter with the closed stance, takes a fastball right back through the middle. Jackson on his way around second base. Went up to the ball. He doesn't have a great throwing arm, remember, it's sore, so Jackson steams into third base. Runners at the corners with 2 out, and Cordell Washington coming up. That makes that run earned now. Rudy on at first, Jackson down at second, and Cordell Washington, the surprise starter last night, came up with 2 base hits in his first 2 trips to the plate, and then was walked intensely and scored. Washington, the youngster, is 3 for 4 for the series. He's a left-handed hitter. Stay in on the grass at third base. Washington takes the pitch outside. Ball 1. 1-0 with 2 out. We're in the last of the first. The A's trying to break it open here and end the series as early as possible. Nobody in the Dodger bullpen. Drive, broken bat, right field. Ferguson there and one-handed. Cordell Washington broke his bat. 1 run scored on 2 base hits, 1 error, and 2 men left. After 1, Oakland has the lead over Los Angeles, 1-0.
Gillette Championship Shaving is on the air. The first blade is cutting the whisker. That's 1 shave, and the second blade is coming over to try for 2. It's got it! A beautiful double play on that whisker by the 2-bladed Gillette Track 2 razor. Let's get an instant replay of those 2 blades teaming up for that incredible shave. There, the Track 2 is beginning to shave the whisker. The first blade lifting it out away from the face, actually exposing extra whisker. The first blade is through, and the whisker is starting to snap back in. But here comes the second blade. It's going to nail that whisker again before it can all get back. Yes, the Gillette Track 2 has shaved the same whisker twice for a closer shave. And both those blades are recessed for extra safety. The final score, a Track 2 razor effect, 2 whiskers, nothing. Folks, that's Championship Shaving, brought to you by the Gillette Track 2 shaving system. The closest thing to a perfect shave.
We are back in Oakland, California for game number 5 of the World Series. Jim Simpson along with Vin Scully. We go to the top of the second inning, and the Dodgers are already down by 1 run. And Vida Blue, who got him in order, will face Steve Garvey, Joe Ferguson, and Ron Cey. Garvey has more hits than anybody else in this World Series. He's got 7. Hitting at .412. Garvey, as Vin Scully told you, the new daddy who went down to see Mama and his new little girl last night. And I forgot to say happy birthday to Jim Gilliam, standing in the coaching box over at first base. He's 46 today. Tom Lasorda coaching at third. Bouncing ball on 1 hop to Campanera, who races in and throws on to Rudy. And Blue has gotten the first 4 men to face him. That'll bring up Joe Ferguson. Ferguson has 1 base hit in 12 attempts in the World Series, and that 1 base hit came on Sunday afternoon. A high inside fastball from the pitcher he's about to face right now, Vida Blue, and he pounded it over the center field wall at Dodger Stadium. Ferguson, during the regular season, hit 16 home runs, 57 RBIs, 083 in the series. Vida Blue, the left-hander, with that smoke, takes something off a breaking pitch and gets a strike. So Blue realizes that Ferguson was waiting for the fastball and hit a fastball out. on Sunday. Now he comes back with the fastball and catches the outside corner. The mistake that Blue made to Ferguson on Sunday was to get the fastball up and in on Joe, and he rifled it out. Ron Cey standing on deck. Blue working quickly, comes in with the fastball this time, backing him up a little bit, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. A warm but beautiful day at Oakland, California. The sun is still out, shining brightly on the mountains beyond center field. Blue throws a breaking ball that hits the center field and tails away from Billy North, and Ferguson picks up the first base hit and becomes the first base runner for the Dodgers. So the Dodgers have the tying run on with Ron Cey due up. At 143, 2 hits and 14 attempts. The Penguin. Cey, as outspoken as Buckner is about the A's, indicating many times that it has been luck the way they're winning, Cey, on the other hand, has been most gracious in all of his remarks and respects the A's very much. In each of the 4 previous games, remember, the team that has scored first has gone on to win the ball game. And Oakland has scored first. If you're superstitious or follow such things, Cey hits one off the fist and fouls it back. And if you are superstitious, Don Sutton, who was deceived by a throwing error and gave up a run which was earned in the first inning, is trying for his 13th consecutive win. What do they call that? Fiskadectophobia? Here the number 13. Blue back with a fastball, misses outside, and Fosse trots out to say something to him as the count goes to 1 ball, 1 strike to Ron Cey with Bill Russell on deck. Back now. And now the background for the hitters is pretty good. This ball game about a half an hour old, and at last the center field bleachers are entirely in the shade. Cey, curveball stays high and away, and it's 2-1. Oakland 1, Dodgers nothing in the top of the second. Blue throws fastball, line to left field, base hit. 1 hop to Cornell Washington. Stopping at second is Joe Ferguson. Cey picks up his 3rd hit of the series, and now the tying run for the Dodgers is down at second base. And Bill Russell coming up. Russell with 4 base hits in the series. And out quickly is Wes Stock, the pitching coach, to talk to Vida Blue. Perhaps, of course, spotting something. Blue hurrying his pitches, not coming over the top. Whatever it is the pitching coach has noticed, Sal Bando walks in to hear the conversation and then walks back out. Blue cautioned momentarily. He owns a 1-0 lead, but it is in danger now as Russell steps in. 267 in the series, 4 for 15. The Dodgers would like to capitalize. In the series, they've left so many men on base. Fastball is swung on and missed by Russell. In that first game, remember, which they lost, they left 12 men on base. Another was picked off, and yet another was erased on a double play. The strike 1 pitch from Vida Blue. Another fastball hit in the air to center field. Billy North going back. Ferguson tagging at second. Ferguson is on his way to third. The throw comes in and is cut off by Dick Green. We have runners at the corners, but now 2 out as Russell flies to North in center field. Ferguson moves to third. Cey remains at first, and Steve Yeager, hitting .444 in the series, 4 for 9. A good, strong right-handed batter. 12 home runs during the regular season. Steps in. Tying run, Joe Ferguson, just 90 feet away. The Dodgers have not had more than 2 hits in any single inning in this series. So barring an error or a wild pitch or a pass ball, they'd have to break that record to tie this game up. Yeager will try. Foul tips the first pitch at the plate, and it's strike 1. Blue did not give him the good fastball that time, took something off of it. That's the way he started out Ferguson, and then Ferguson jumped all over a fastball. They hit a hooking single to right field, right center field. Breaking pitch, and has him out in front. That's 2 breaking pitches he's given him. 0-2. Now the guessing game begins with Yeager in the hole. Dick Green comes in to remind Blue of something or to find out what kind of pitch it is that he intends to throw him. Green, of course, without great range, has a remarkable knack throughout the year, any year, and especially in this series, of being in the right spot at the right time. 0-2 with Don Sutton on deck. Blue throws the fastball, just missed low, and Blue swings his arms, and Fosse gets up. It's 1-2. Yeager wasn't offering, and the pitch was too low. Low target. Throws, and it's jammed. Foul off to the right, and I believe that Yeager, as Cordell Washington did back in the Oakland first inning, has broken a bat. He was jammed on the pitch, and the ball was fouled off to the right. Still 1 ball, 2 strikes. Well, it has been since those Yankees of the late 40s and early 50s, when they won 5 world championships in a row, that anyone has won as many as 3, and the A's are trying to do that tonight. They win tonight, they will have won their 3rd in a row. Blue back, swing and a miss on a breaking ball. He strikes him out, and the Dodgers lead 2 on. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and 2 left. We go to the last of the second, and it's 1-0 Oakland.
One of our 5 different savings plans. Our 7.5% insured savings certificate. Your investment will grow fast at the 7.5% annual rate over a 4-year period with a minimum balance of $5,000. It's the insured, safe way to save with a high return of 7.5%. Just one of the 5 ways you can put your money where it will work for you. Terre Haute Mutual at the corner of 5th and Ohio.
Jim Simpson with Vin Scully, and hello again from Oakland, California, where we began the 2nd inning for the Oakland A's of this 5th game of the World Series. Fosse, Green, and Blue, the listed pitchers, to face Don Sutton, who gave up a couple of base hits, a walk, victim of a stolen base and an error back in the first inning, and a total of 1 run. And the first pitch to strike to Fosse. Ray Fosse steps out. On deck is Dick Green, who's been a defensive whiz down at second base for the A's in this series. The strike 1 pitch from the right-hander Sutton. And there's the curve hit deep to left field. Back goes Buckner. The curveball is hit out of here, and it's 2-0. Fosse gets the home run. Comes Dick Green. Sutton hung a curveball for Ray Fosse, and he jumped all over it and hit it out of here. And again, we'll have to wait as they pick up some articles that have been thrown on the field. Tim Scully and I were very concerned when we received word that Bob Prince, the voice of the Pittsburgh Pirates, was in the coronary unit of the Pittsburgh Hospital. Now, we understand that Bob Prince did not have a heart attack. It is called total exhaustion. And so we hope, trust, and pray that Bob will be all right and out soon. Fosse, you'll recall, hit a big home run in the playoffs and has come back to put the Dodgers down by 2 runs. And now Green will step in as they have pretty well policed the outfield. There remain some articles and some of the grounds crew just walking off the foul line now. And Sutton ready to throw to Dick Green. Hits out to center field. Over comes Jim Wynn and takes the line drive. Green jumped on the first pitch and hit it very well, but Wynn was able to get to it. And Vida Blue with a 2-run lead comes up. Vida has always concentrated on his pitching. He is not much of a hitter, but he must feel pretty good standing up there right now. Swings at a Sutton fastball, and it's strike 1. 1 out. Well, the Dodgers really have their work cut out for them now. They're down by 2 runs. They're a good hitting ball club, but they're facing an excellent left-handed pitcher in Vida Blue. Another swing. Foul tipped at plate. 2 strikes to Blue. And, of course, they managed to get 3 runs in the Sunday game against Blue. So all is not over by a long shot. The A's and their fans at this moment feel pretty good. Breaking pitch gets him looking. The curveball strikes out by the Blues. That is strikeout number 1 for Sutton, who struck out 9 in Game 2 of the World Series. And up comes Campaneris, who singled on a 3-2 count back in the first inning that started that mild but effective one-run rally of the A's. Sutton throws him the fastball, and it's fouled off to the right and out of play. Darby gives chase, but it's at least 6 or 8 rows deep. Over near the Dodger dugout. Oakland picked up a run in the first and another here in the second. Campaneris waits. Don Sutton with the ball in hand always in the glove comes in with the fastball high and inside. A lot of pitchers do that now. They just hold the ball right in the glove and start right from there. Never let you see it if they can. Drive out to right field where Joe Ferguson waits for it and one hands it. But the one-run scores on the home run by Ray Fosse. That's the only base hit, no errors and none left. At the end of 2 complete in Game 5. It is Oakland 2, Los Angeles nothing.
If you've been new car shopping, you've probably found it's hard to decide which size is right for you. Hi, this is Joe Garagiola, and I'd like to suggest you check out the 1975 Coronet hardtops at your Dodge dealers. These cars are a little bit smaller and a little bit sportier than the other standard size cars. They're sized right, priced right, and styled to keep you ahead of the crowd. So if you're undecided which size car is right for you, take a look at the 1975 Coronet hardtops. They're all new, and they're at your Dodge dealers this week.
Morning, Mr. Green. Say, haven't seen this big car in a spell.
Nowadays, Caleb, we use our small car mostly.
You know, this big engine might not be getting the exercise it needs.
Exercise?
Yup, to get rid of harmful engine deposits. Make sure you're using Quaker State motor oil. It's fortified to fight deposit buildup.
Is Quaker State still available in most places?
Yup, because people need it now more than ever.
Quaker State your car to keep it running young.
Don Sutton down 2-0 will lead off the third inning for the Dodgers. And this is something an opposing pitcher always loves to see. A pitcher lead off the inning because, generally speaking, you figure that you're going to lead off the inning with an out. Doesn't always work out that way, but it makes you feel kind of good when you know the man that's going to lead off an inning is the pitcher. Sutton watches all the way, and a blue fastball stays high, and it's ball 1. 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors for Oakland. No runs, 2 hits, and 1 error for Los Angeles. Bando even with the bag at third. They're playing Sutton the other way, figuring he can't pull that blue fastball, which catches the corner of the knees. And it's strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Top of the batting order, leadoff man Lopes. Standing on deck. Blue throws, and it's a swing. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Ball popped out of the glove of Fosse. Blue was not effective Sunday against the Dodgers. As effective, naturally he was beaten down there, but his fastball was staying high, and he didn't have the control that he had in the game against Baltimore. Tonight, thus far, with the exception of a 3-2 count to Lopes, he's had his control, all has been jumped off. There's a fastball that rides in to Sutton and strikes him out, looking. Second strikeout. He got hurt with fastballs to Ferguson and Say, but with 2 men on and 2 out, he went to his breaking pitches and got Yeager to strike out swinging to end the second. Lopes bounced to Bando back in the first inning. Blue throws him the fastball, stays inside. Lopes has been up 16 times with 2 base hits. Now it's 17 times with 2 base hits. Change that, and it's a count of 2-0 to him. Now a man with Lopes' speed with a count of 2-0 might be waiting around a little bit here to get on base and get something started. 2-0, and he's waiting, and Blue misses inside, and it's 3-0. You never like to put a man on base. But of all people, a man like Davy Lopes, that's a real no-no. He can scoot. He stole 2 bases in one inning of a series game. But on 4 pitches, he's on. The first walk given up by Vida Blue, and with 1 out, here comes Bill Buckner, who popped out to Campaneris last time out. Oakland A's leading 2-0, and they've won their last 4 World Series games played at Oakland, the last 2 of 1972, and on Tuesday and Wednesday night of this series. The Dodgers come back. With 1 out, they have Lopes at first, and their number 2 batter in the order, Buckner, due up, a .314 hitter during the regular season. Fosse gives him an outside target, but Blue, who does not have a good move at all, checks Lopes back to first base. This is the first time that Lopes has been on base against Vida Blue. That's the first time he's been able to study him from that angle. Another check there, and Lopes is back. Jimmy Wynn is on deck. Vida this time goes, and there goes Lopes. Fosse's throw is there, and he's got him. Close play, but Lopes is gunned down by Fosse. Well, you can talk about Ray Fosse. Had a great year with Cleveland, and then lapsed into what a lot of people called a journeyman catcher. But against Baltimore, he gunned down Don Baylor and Paul Blair, 2 pretty good base stealers, over in the American League. Caught them by shock as the ball was waiting for them at second base, and now Lopes is out, and they're 2 out in the Dodger third. Buckner with a count of 1 strike. Campaneris came over, put it right to him, ground ball right back, comebacker to Blue, who throws on to Fosse. And that's 3. No runs, no hits, no errors, none left. We go to the last of the third, and Oakland still has that 2-0 lead over Los Angeles.
Winter, rain and sleet, ice-coated highways fading into the night. Suddenly, your flicking windshield wipers reveal a shape. A man. You brake, but you don't stop. You're sliding on a polished table. The world begins to spin in slow motion. Could it happen? Accidents happen thousands of times a week. This is why you should ride with the cavalry. The Kemper Cavalry. The men and women of Kemper and the independent agents who represent us. When we decide to insure you, it's because we believe you're a good risk. So we're not about to cancel you or not renew you just because you have an accident. And if the accident wasn't your fault, your rates won't go up either. An independent agent near you is listed in the yellow pages under Kemper Insurance. The Kemper Insurance Companies. We're with you for the long ride.
Back in Oakland, California for the A's third inning, and it'll be North, Bando, and Jackson to face Don Sutton. North forced Campaneris back in the first inning. When he stole second base, he drew a wild throw from catcher Steve Yeager, went on to third, and Bando sacrificed line drive to left, scored him with the first of the 2 Oakland runs. The second run came on Fosse's home run off a hanging Don Sutton curveball in the second inning. So it's 2-0. The Dodgers have had 3 base runners, have left 2, and 1 has been thrown out. Our national anthem, as you've heard, is sung tonight by Gordon McRae. Rock Hudson from the first base ball. Stan Musial, Ernie Banks in attendance in the commissioner's box tonight. 2 great players. Banks a sure shot for the Hall of Fame. First pitch North, he jams him, pops him up. Say at third base says, "I've got this one." And halfway to home, takes it. North hits the first pitch and pops out, and that'll bring up Bando. Third baseman, Sal Bando. Bando, in Game 3 of the American League Championships, his home run gave Vida Blue the only run he needed to win 1-0. In the next game, in which the A's clinched the championship, Bando never got a hit but walked twice and scored 2 times. Sutton's throw.
And he missed it, strike 1. I was surprised a little while ago that Sutton didn't throw him a breaking ball that I detected anyway while the long battle was going on. Well, there's one in the dirt.
I think the story of the series is still the A's are executing. Bando got the long fly when they needed it. The throw by Fosse. They're making the right plays at the right time.
It was not an easy pickup and tag by Campaneris at second base. Pitch it inside a ball in the playoffs against Baltimore in one of the early games. Fosse made a throw like that, a little longer bounce out even for Dick Green, the second baseman of the A's, and he made the pickup and the tag at a very crucial time in a tight game. Bando hits one to deep center field, but Wynn should have it. He's got it.
Bando's swinging the bat better tonight than we've seen him any time in the series.
Seeing these guys for the second time around, Kurt, I felt last night that was one of the reasons we had a little more excitement. The A's had not seen the Dodger pitchers and vice versa, and this is the second time these batters are seeing these men now in just a 4-day period. You've got to know a little more about them.
These two clubs were strangers. They'd only played against each other once, and that was in an exhibition game last year.
Scouting report can tell you, and I'm sure both clubs had excellent scouting reports, how a pitcher throws, but until you see him under fire, you really don't know exactly. We've talked a lot about scouting reports. I think credit should go to some of the scouts. Al Hollingsworth scouted the Dodgers. Reggie Jackson. Hollingsworth is the same man who turned in the scouting report on the Cincinnati Reds in 1972 the A's gave so much praise to. I don't know who scouted the A's for the Dodgers. There were 2 or 3 of them around, and I understand that the National League scouts pooled their scouting reports on the A's to give to the Dodgers. Strike. It's called 1-1. 2 down, third inning. The score, Oakland 2, Los Angeles nothing, as Joe Rudy waits on deck. He got it past him. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Jackson, the MVP in the series last year. It was a very close decision between him and Bert Campaneris. Many felt that Campaneris should have had the MVP, but Jackson got it, got the car, and gave it away. Hit him right on the fist. It's fouled away. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
No telling how good that fellow's going to be. As many of these A's, he is still a young man, and look what they've been through. You mentioned it when we showed Vida Blue. He was warming up Monty, but they're all still relatively young.
Pitch is high, ball 2. Jackson is playing every day with his legs taped up. 1 and a 2, and there's a Lawrence Wells. Celebrity time wherever you see the World Series. Jackson never likes to stand at the plate very long and wait on a pitcher. He went around, and Reggie Jackson is out, and so are the A's. And through 3 innings of play, the score remains the Oakland A's 2, the Los Angeles Dodgers nothing.
Volley of home! Caleb! Caleb! Volley! Caleb! Ooh, long time no see.
Turn your face into a kisser. Gillette only can do it, mister. Why shake her hand when you can kiss her?
Welcome home, Caleb.
Only shaking turns your face into a kisser.
Yes, I'd like a butane lighter, please.
Which one?
Oh, they're all about the same.
I wish you hadn't said that.
Cricket lighter is really quite a light. It'll last for months and still burn bright with thousands of sure-fire lights and a flame that adjusts to different heights.
That's no ordinary cricket.
Well, cricket's no ordinary lighter.
Catch a cricket for $1.49 by Gillette.
On December 5th, 1973, at a rifle range outside Los Angeles, a high-powered .30 caliber rifle was fired at a distance of 40 yards to try and open this master padlock. The master lock model number 15 sustained considerable damage, but did not open. Repeat, did not open. Whatever your protection needs, there's a master lock ready to do the job.
Top half of the 4th inning. Dodgers have 2 hits. The A's have 3. The score is 2-0 Oakland. Here is Jimmy Wynn. Off the glove of Vida Blue to Bert Campaneris, and he throws him out. I believe Vida tipped that ball. I'm not absolutely certain.
I think he did, Monty, but the trend continues defensively for the A's. They always seem to be in the right place at the right time. Ball on the outside corner. Jimmy Wynn refuses to give in. He's still trying to pull that lone outside pitch off the glove of Vida. And Campaneris is there. Look at Dick Green backing up the play. They're really hustling.
Here's Garvey, the Dodger first baseman, looking at a high breaking ball.
Blue showed you what kind of an athlete he was, how high he went in the air off the mound. He was a great all-around athlete in high school. Football, baseball, basketball.
Fouled off. Yeah, Vida threw 35 touchdown passes his senior year in high school.
Sometimes he threatens to go into football.
I think those days are gone when he's threatening that. Fastball miss it inside, 2-1. One out, fourth inning. Garvey to be followed by Ferguson. Fouled out of play. You could see on that swing how Garvey could hit the ball hard to right field. He really had his head down on the swing and had a mighty good swing at a fastball.
I guess if you had to classify the Dodgers as a team hitting, they're a fastball hitting club. And Vida at times is throwing the ball right by their good fastball hitters.
I think he's shown him a few more breaking balls tonight than he did out in Los Angeles, too. Ray Fosse gets a lot of the credit for that. Ray determines real early whether Vida has a good curveball or not. And if he does, he'll go with it a lot. If he doesn't, he says, forget it. Fly ball to left field. Claudell Washington makes the catch. There are two down.
Monty, I think that might be a key for Vida the remainder of this ball game. If he can throw the curveball over the plate once in a while for strikes, gives those hitters that extra pitch to look for. If he loses it, they're going to sit back and wait for the fastball.
Did you see Vida right then? He indicated, I think, his determination here tonight. He doubled up his fist and yelled out and pointed out to Claudell Washington there as if to say that's the way to go. Here's Joe Ferguson. There's a long drive to left field. That ball is just a matter of fair or foul, whether it's a home run, and it is a foul ball. Joe Ferguson taking a shot at the 335-foot-long foul pole. He had a base hit off Vida on a breaking ball before, and that one looked like it might have been a breaking ball up and in on him a little bit. That's one of those hit it and look a long time.
He hit the home run over the center field wall against Blue in Los Angeles.
And you didn't get to watch that one very long. It went out too quickly. Boy, he really smashed one. Vida will probably try to go away from him. Right back in there, knee-high strike ball. Look at that National League umpire on his knees to get down where his eyes are almost on the same level as that pitch coming in. Breaking ball, he got him looking. Vida Blue breezes through the fourth inning with a score after 3.5. The Oakland A's 2, the Los Angeles Dodgers nothing.
Why do you use MasterCharge? With MasterCharge, I don't have to travel with a bundle of cash. That's a load off my mind.
Shopping is so much easier with MasterCharge. It's good almost everywhere in the country.
MasterCharge, the card that lets you RELAX.
With MasterCharge, I can stretch out my payments if I like, and that's a big help.
When I've got my MasterCharge card, I can relax.
When you go to McDonald's for a regular hamburger, famous golden brown French fries, and Coca-Cola, you get a little more. You get change back from your dollar, and you can count on it.
You can count on some change from your money well spent. You deserve a break today at McDonald's.
A great value. You can count on it.
I'm waiting for a smaller car, but not too small.
The small Fury. It's one a lot of people have been waiting for.
I'd like a car with a little flair.
The times demand it, and Plymouth has it. A new small Fury. Large enough for 6, small enough to save you money. The small Fury.
It's one a lot of people have been waiting for.
Moody to lead off for the Oakland A's in the last half of the fourth inning. The A's have had 3 hits. They've made them count for 2 runs, and that's been the story of this Oakland ball club throughout the last pressurized couple of weeks. And believe me, through playoff baseball and into World Series, there's a lot of pressure. Rudy hit that ball high and deep to left. Buckner should have a play. He's got it right in the corner. The managing general partner of the Oakland Raiders, Al Davis. Great success story and a great sport. Talking with Carl Lindemann
there, and Al Davis's wife. Al's quite an Oakland A's baseball fan.
And a very studious one, too. You know, when he doesn't understand something that happens on the field, he comes and asks, why did they do that? And not as a second guesser, he wants to know. Claudell Washington bloops one into right field, base hit. Claudell Washington continues to hit them where they ain't, as they say here in Oakland. He has had a magic wand.
Oh, you have to like his future, Monty, only 20 years old.
Last time he was up, Sutton broke a bat right in half, hitting him right there. And this time he gets the same pitch and horses it out into right field. 1 out, 1 on in the fourth inning.
Claudell has a little bit, I think, of Roberto Clemente in him. As soon as ball hits bat, he doesn't stop. He just goes and makes that turn at first.
Here's Ray Fosse, who hit one out of here a little while ago. Breaking ball, a delayed steal by Claudell Washington, and they got him. Claudell Washington looked like he took off on a delayed steal. At least he got a bad jump off first base, and Yeager got a tough pitch to handle.
What a player tries to do on that is wait till the ball is thrown, and the catcher, shortstop, and second baseman have to take their eye off the base runner, and he hopes that they will not cover the bag. But both Russell and Lopes were very alert, and Lopes got spiked. He got that glove hand pinned between the bag and Claudell Washington's spike.
One man called me today, said he was a cousin of Al Lopez's, former great manager of the White Sox and the Cleveland Indians, said, you're mispronouncing his name. It's not Lopes, it's Lopez. Lopes is of Portuguese descent. And he said the correct pronunciation is Lopes of Providence, Rhode Island.
Ray Fosse up with a count of 1 ball and no strikes. Boy, Yeager made quite a play right there, and we can't let that go by. He got a tough pitch to handle. Breaking ball right in there for a strike. Out on the $1 million message scoreboard here, the world champion A's salute Harry Coyle, director of 28 consecutive World Series telecasts for NBC TV. Call strike outside, and I can say this, Kurt, the 3 years I've worked with you fellas, I never continue to be amazed at the amount of work that the people down in those trucks and throughout this NBC television crew do to put on these telecasts better every day. Fosse hits a comebacker to Sutton, and that retires the A's. We've gone through 4 innings very quickly. The scores, the Oakland A's 2 and the Los Angeles Dodgers nothing.
Come on, baby, and don't quit on us. I knew we shouldn't have bought this boat. Hey, what? You did it! You didn't do it. Oh, maybe it's flooded. Flooded? Yeah, well, if you think you can do any better, play, go on. Yeah, I guess. Go on at it. Let's see. Grab this wire. It's running. Hey, come on, hand me a wrench. When you only go around once, you learn to reach for the gusto in life. In everything. Even your beer. That's why there's Schlitz. Why settle for less?
And now a message furnished by Major League Baseball. For the first time, this year's official World Series program is being offered by mail to fans and collectors for $2.50. This spectacular full-color book contains many feature articles and photographs, including the Hank Aaron story, Lou Brock, Dizzy Dean, the history of the World Series, and feature stories and photographs of all the players of both the National and American League All-Star teams. Each picture is 8.5 by 11 and suitable for framing. We suggest you act now and send a check or money order for $2.50 to Major League Baseball, Post Office Box 666, San Francisco, California, 94101. Well, we go to the top half of the 5th inning, and this game is really moving quickly. The A's have 4 hits, the Dodgers have 2, and the batter for the Dodgers is Ron Cey. He's had one of the Dodger hits, a single to left. He takes high ball 1. Incidentally, we've found the men who did the scouting for the Dodgers against the Oakland A's: Ben Wade, Reggie Otero, and Ed Livatore. Pitch it outside and high ball 2. Fosse will talk to Vida for a little calming down period. Score 2-0. It isn't quite dark yet here in the Bay Area. On deck is Billy Russell. Vida coming inside, missing 3-0.
Dick Green, who has been so sensational the last 2 ball games, is quite a study as he moves around. He gets the sign. He's in constant motion getting set for a pitch.
That's low, ball 4. Vida walks Cey ahead of Russell to start the 5th inning.
He walked 2 in Los Angeles in 7 innings. That's his 2nd walk tonight.
The ball really carries here in this ballpark in this kind of weather. It's warm, and you've seen some balls hit pretty well here tonight. Some foul. Fosse's just jumped out of here. Russell flied to right center field his first time up.
Still no activity in the Dodger bullpen. A couple of men get on. Walter Alston might have to make a decision with Sutton.
Vida, after missing with 4 fastballs in a row, threw a breaking ball over for a strike on the first pitch to Russell. And that's another gimmick of Ray Fosse's in catching Vida. When that fastball is taking off, as it seemed to be for 4 pitches there, he figured that just by turning his wrist over on a breaking ball to get him back on track. There's a bouncing ball to Campaneris. To Green for 1. To Rudy, got them both.
They don't mess up around the bag.
Let's look at it. Taylor made, well, we had a pretty good jump off first base. And look at Dick Green. He very rarely gets upset. It's something that, look at Luciano pointed out, something that he learned early in his career from a former second base partner of mine, Bobby Richardson, to stay loose, get rid of the ball, and take that little hop. Look at Ron. He was on a Joe Garagiola pregame show, I guess it was last year. He's something, he's a bird watcher.
Steve Yeager up, and Vida's breaking ball doesn't take that time. It's high for ball 1.
They had Luciano wired up for the World Series film, and Tommy Lasorda. They call it the Italian World Series.
Vida's fastball tailing away from Yeager, who had a good cut at it. He asked the plate umpire, Yeager did, if that pitch were over the plate. And Olson signaled yes. I think the umpiring in this series has really been sensational. Every replay has shown that they are right on it. And boy, I don't think those men aren't under pressure in a World Series.
The way it is most of the season.
And the place where most of the squabbling comes about is not on the bases, it's behind the plate. We've had very few hitters argue on balls and strikes, or catchers too.
Swinging strike, it's 2-2. Just 2 good clubs with good pitchers. They're always around the corners. It has not been an easy series to ump behind the plate. Came back in with a breaking ball, and Vida Blues having one of its big nights here at the Coliseum. The score at the halfway point of the game.
By reaching out to conquer the unknown, man has created technologies to explore, to refine and improve the way we do things. This reaching out is taking us far beyond the limits we once knew. Another result of this reaching out, today's 100% solid-state Quasar portable TV, created for improved picture performance and confidence by reaching out to meet human needs.
Reach out for Quasar.
A lot of people call me cheap. Wrong. Thrifty. Like the time I called Xerox. Collect. And found out about their 4500 copier. It's the only one that copies on both sides of the same sheet of paper. Automatically. And then sorts what it copied. The Xerox 4500 saves me paper, filing space, mailing costs, time, and money. Now you tell me, is that cheap or thrifty?
Well, we've approached the halfway mark of the ball game, and the A's are leading the Dodgers 2-0, and it's time for the switch over in announcers. And Tony, you guys make it awfully easy up here for the visitors, and Kurt, it's a pleasure working with you again.
Well, you did a fine job with us, Monty, for your third year in a row. If we go back to Los Angeles, Monty will switch over to NBC Radio, and Vin Scully, the broadcaster of the Dodgers, will join us on television. Superb job.
Thank you very much, Kurt. Here we go now with the last half of the ball game, and NBC's Kurt Gowdy to take you home.
Dick Green. Line to center his first time. Don Sutton. The pitch is hit in the air out into deep right center. Ferguson going back. There, and he has it, one down. Sutton gave up a run in the first, a run in the second. He settled down since. Well, he's up against a rugged foe tonight in Vida Blue. Vida Blue getting a hand from the over 49,000 fans here in the Oakland Coliseum. Blue took a call, third strike his first time. 0-1 to him. He joined us late. Campaneris led off in the first inning with a single. He was forced at second. Ground ball by North, and North stole second. Went to third on a throwing error by the catcher. Scored on Sal Bando sacrifice fly to left. Flossie led off the second with a home run to left, and that's been the scoring. The 0-2 pitch. Just a little bit outside. Don has struck out 2. He's walked 1. That's strike 3 to Vida Blue. 2 down for the A's. Top of the order coming up now. Bert Campaneris who singled and fly to right. Hard to figure how Sutton could go 2 months without a victory with the kind of stuff he has. But that's what happened to him in the 1974 season. He won his 6th game of the season on May 14th. He did not win number 7 until July 25th. He had wound up with 19 wins. 0-1 to Bert Campaneris. The A's are in front 2-0 on the NBC scoreboard. Clinched a little bit on that one.
Kurt, but the good pitchers like Sutton and Hunter can come right back and have just as big a winning streak. Hunter at one time this year was 8-8, with the A's ended up 25-12.
Right in there. Well, the good pitchers are competitors, and they don't give up on themselves.
That's the big thing, I think, because I'm sure Sutton, when he was losing a lot of those games, lost awfully tough ones.
He's rolling along now. He has a ball and 2 strikes to Bert Campaneris. Campaneris hits the fly ball to left fielder Buckner, and the A's go quietly in the 5th. At the end of 5, it's Oakland 2, Los Angeles 0.
I'm so darn smart.
See my new Dodge Charger? It's got the looks, the engineering, but this is the clincher. Chrysler Corporation's new warranty on all their 1975 passenger cars.
My new Plymouth Duster is covered for 12 months of normal use and unlimited mileage.
I can drive my new Chrysler Cordova as many miles as I want. And if any part they supply is defective, any Chrysler Motors Corporation dealer will fix it, including parts and labor.
It's extraordinary. Everything is covered except tires, and they're covered by the tire manufacturer.
All I have to take care of is normal maintenance services, like changing filters and wiper blades.
I think Chrysler Corporation has a lot of confidence in their cars to come out with a warranty like this.
And I think I'm darn smart to take them up on it. We.
Chrysler Plymouth Dodge. I'm so darn smart. I went Chrysler.
We pause now for station identification.
Peter Sellers, Martha Reeves, and Lily Tomlin join Flip Wilson Friday.
Marshall warming up in the Dodger bullpen. The Dodgers are making their move. Tom Paciorek is batting for Don Sutton. And he hits the first pitch on a line into left center. Washington trying to flag it down. Paciorek going for extra bases. In the second. Holds there. The relay. Comes into Campanera. Paciorek is the first ball hitter, and he lined that one to left center for a double. Now the top of the order coming up for Los Angeles.
Here from our center field camera, that base hit. Washington tried to outrun the ball in left center field. He couldn't catch it. Now he goes after his cutoff man, Bert Campaneris. Backed up by Green. Something I'm sure Alston hated to do is get Sutton out of there, but he needs runs right now. Sutton had just gotten his curveball that last inning.
And we're getting action now in the Oakland bullpen. Dave Lopes has grounded out a walk. The pitch is high and away to him. That's Blue Moon Odom on the right and Paul Lindblad, the left-hander. Paciorek at second, nobody out. The A's ahead, 2-0. It's the sixth inning. Foul back. The Dodgers have had 3 hits. 2 of the hits coming in the second inning. At no time in the World Series, as you look at Buckner on deck, have the Dodgers had more than 2 hits in a single inning. Breaking pitch hangs high to him. 2 balls and a strike. And now a little rumbling of uneasiness. You can hear it in the Oakland Coliseum.
The last pitch, not a good sign for Vida, breaking ball up.
2-1 pitch coming to Dave Lopes. And he tried to check the swing and fouls it away. 2-2. For the second inning in a row, the Dodgers have had their leadoff batter on. Say walked in the 5th. Paciorek at second, nobody out. Playing Lopes a couple of steps toward left. Fosse had to go out after that one. 3-2. Walter Alston hoping. Goes Alvin Dark.
This is the biggest pitch Byron's had to make in the ballgame so far, right here.
3-2 pitch coming up to Dave Lopes. He walked him. And the Dodgers have the tying runs on. Nobody out on the top of the 6th inning.
Monty, you've seen Blue all season long, and the first 5, he was down around the knees with a fastball, with a breaking ball. All of a sudden, he's thrown 4 consecutive pitches, 3 fastballs, and the curveball above the belt. He's gone wild, high, and away to the right-handed hitters.
Dark has been quick with a hook in this World Series.
Well, a lot of people have felt, particularly the players, the pitchers, have felt that way all year. But when you have a bullpen, the kind of bullpen the Oakland A's have, you can afford to be that way. And in this important of a ball game, you really can't take too much of a chance of leaving a guy out there very long. There's a lot of money at stake. There's a lot of prestige at stake. It's Lindblad and Odom working out there. Walter Alston is calling his third base coach, Tommy Lasorda, over. And he might be going to remind the runners of the Dodgers of the A's trick plays on defense. With Buckner up against the left-hander, it's almost a sure thing that he would be bunting here.
All right, the Dodgers have their strategy set. They have Paciorek at second, Lopes at first, no outs. The A's are leading 2-0 in the 6th. Bando tight at third. Rudy is in on the grass at first. They're defensing against a possible bunt. Buckner already squared away, and it's ball 1 to him.
The Dodgers have a player, Gale Hopkins, who was in the American League against the Oakland A's for quite some time, and I understand that he talked at length in the Dodgers' first scouting meeting on the A's about the A's trick plays.
Lopes will have a good lead at first with Rudy coming in off the bag. There's a bunt that's popped out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike to Buckner. Jim Wynn is on deck. Then the cleanup batter, Steve Garvey. There are the 2 runners, the lead man, Paciorek at second. Lopes is at first. Everybody will be on the move as this ball's laid down. Bando and Rudy charging. Blue coming off the mound. Fosse going out in front of the plate. Green to cover second. Campaneris to cover second, and Green to cover first. And he dumps it perfectly to Bando. The play goes to Green at first base. An excellent sacrifice by Buckner, and he moves the tying runs in a scoring position. Lasorda says, nice going, Tom.
Excellent bunt is right. Bunt it hard enough to make the third baseman feel it, but if you bunt it too hard, he's got the play at second base for the force out.
Tony, it looks simple, but we've seen so many times some of the hitters just can't execute it.
And that's been part of the difference in this series so far. Execution on the part of the A's and cutoffs, base running, etc. Making the plays. The Dodgers, not as well.
All right, Ray Fosse signals to his mates, 1 out. The infield's playing back with the A's ahead 2-0. They'll concede a run and a ground ball. And Blue is high and away, starting to get up high now. They're deep and toward left for Jim Wynn with Garvey waiting. There's a high fly ball. He got under it a little bit too much. The tag at third by Paciorek. Claudell Washington has it. He's throwing to third base. The proper throw. In the score is Paciorek. He tried to rainbow it into the plate. Lopes would have tagged at second and gone on to third.
And another high pitch that Jimmy Wynn just missed. He got under it just that fraction of an inch.
They'll give Wynn a sacrifice fly. And now it's 2-1 Oakland.
Let's watch Wynn. You can see Fosse still giving the low target, but Blue comes right down the middle. Just missed it.
Steve Garvey, the leading hitter in this World Series. He's been very impressive. Slashing the ball to right, pulling to left, attacking the ball at the plate. He's just as consistent in the World Series as he's been in regular season play. He's grounded to short and flying to left. And he looks at a high fastball. And Blue definitely is higher now than he's been any time in the game, and that's where he gets into trouble. Quite a year for Steve Garvey. He was a right-in ballateer, first base in the All-Star game, and voted the most valuable player. He fouls it away. And now here he is in the World Series. And he's on his way to National League stardom.
In Los Angeles, Lopes in this same situation with Garvey batting, and the Dodgers down by, I believe, 2 runs. Stole third base on the A's without a throw by Ray Fosse, and he's been holding fairly still out there right now. He represents the tying run of the game, but he may be going anyway.
Jackson playing Garvey straight away and right. The other 2 outfielders playing toward left. They leave a gap in right center. And he swings late and fouls it off again. A ball and 2 strikes to Steve Garvey. Another tight one.
There's a possibility, and a very strong one, that should Blue lose this hitter, that's going to be all for him, because they're right on the top of that dugout step, Dark and West Stock.
Give you an interesting shot in the bullpen in a minute, the Oakland bullpen. A 1-2 pitch. That's a foul ball. Take a look at the Oakland bullpen. They've been warming up. Now look at them. They've been kneeling down out there watching the action. Lindblad, and then Odom gets up and starts to loosen up again. They're ready. Sort of pacing themselves out there now. The Dodgers have picked up a run in the 6th. They're trailing 2-1. They have Dave Lopes at second, 2 down. A 1-2 pitch to Garvey. Garvey pounds it into left field. Lopes rounds third. He's coming in to score and is tied up. And Garvey continues to hit for the Dodgers. They'll give him an RBI. That's his first run batted into the World Series. Alvin Dark evidently going to hang along with Blue.
It all started, Kurt and Monty, I think, when Vida lost that curveball up in the strike zone. He threw a couple high, and then he stopped going to it.
He's a dangerous man now if he gets a high fastball into him. And there's his breaking pitch for a strike.
You know, sometimes it just takes one guy to turn a ball club around, and when Paciorek climbed off that bench and hit Vida's first pitch for a double, it just seemed to pick the Dodgers up, and they've been going from there.
Joe Ferguson with a strike, fouls it away, and he's 0-2. Ferguson has power. He likes the ball out over the plate. They like to try and make him hit breaking stuff. So we'll see. There's Say on deck if Blue comes in with a breaking pitch to him now. Ahead on the count. Garvey's at first. The Dodgers have tied at 2-2 in the 6th inning. Fastball too low. 1-2. Garvey with a two-step lead at first. There's the curve, high and away. It's 2-2 to Joe Ferguson. Still, we have Lindblad and Odom in the bullpen, ready if needed. Deuces wild, 2-2 count, 2 down. It's a breaking pitch. A scribbler foul. There's Garvey retreating to first.
Anybody could figure out why a pitcher, as we look at the brains of the A's, why a pitcher loses his curveball. Sometimes it's a flaw, sometimes it's concentration loss, and all of a sudden Blue might have it back. He's thrown a couple of good breaking pitches to Ferguson.
You talked about the A's being on the young side for playing in their 3rd consecutive World Series, Tony. This man's only 25 years old, and he's already had 2 20-game seasons behind him. The 2-2 pitch. There's a high fly out to left fielder Washington, who barely has to move. The side's out, but the Dodgers tied it with 2 runs on 2 hits their last one. In at 5.5, 2-2.
The Equitable introduces a whole new system of life insurance service built around the Equitable agent. Nobody else like you service. At its heart, your Equitable agent, who's paid extra just to give you service. Whether you want to update a policy or plan your financial future, you're going to get service. And helping your agent serve you is a sophisticated computer system that's unique in the insurance business. Equitable's people. Equitable's advanced computer system. They help your agent give you better service. Equitable's new Nobody Else Like You service. Nobody has this service except the Equitable, because we believe there's nobody else like you.
Of course, if the A's win tonight, the World Series over, but if the Dodgers win, we'll move back to Los Angeles Saturday for Game 6. It'll start at 3:30 Eastern Time, and at 3:30, we'll have the baseball world of Joe Garagiola, preceding World Series game number 6.
Kurt, interesting, too, if it should go to 6 and back to L.A. with Marshall coming into the ball game, there was talk he might be the starter for the 6th game. Could be Downing, could be Huff, could go with Rao, could go with the whole pitching staff of the Dodgers.
There's Claude Akins, the star of Moving On, that you see on NBC, taking in World Series game number 5.
He doesn't look so
usually
tough.
See it on Thursday nights.
He doesn't look so tough right there with a little smile.
There's a ground ball to second baseman Lopes. Picked it up, and Bill North is out. Going after the first pitch. Marshall has been extremely difficult for the A's. Marshall has pitched 6 1/3 innings now. Has allowed just 4 hits, no runs. He struck out 6 and walked 1. Sal Bando. Sacrifice fly to left in the first, a long fly to center field in the 3rd. Low and inside for a ball. And if the Dodgers win tonight in Game 6 in Los Angeles, Catfish Hunter would be pitching for the A's, and I don't believe Walter Austin could tell you right now who would be pitching for the Dodgers. Possibly they come back with Messersmith. There's Jackson on deck. With 2 days rest. The 2 edges Many experts picked the Dodgers in the series on their 102 wins during the regular season, a slight edge. But the two edges the A's had was a third starting pitcher with Tommy John injured and previous World Series experience, the poise and playing under pressure before. What a changeup.
That's the screwball. Let's take a look at the screwball. From center field, watch the elbow, if you can. How that... That's the one that looks like a curve. Was away from a right-handed hitter, but actually is a crazy kind of screwball that Marshall throws.
And Marshall right now is a pitcher of record for the Dodgers. 2 down, bases empty. Reggie Jackson waving at it. He has befuddled the A's.
The A's have had trouble, Kurt, over the years with off-speed pitching, and of course Marshall has shown a lot of it here in this series, and people are wondering, he's been in every game, how long he can go. He pitched in 13 straight games once this year.
Well, he pitched 106 games. I think he'd go every day this winter if he has to. He's just a marvel. A ball and 1 strike to Jackson. Look where they're playing Jackson in the outfield toward left field. Normally they play Jackson as a pull hitter most teams. But you see Buckner way over in left. You see Wynn in left center. And Ferguson pulled over in right center, leaving the right field corner for Jackson. A 1-1 pitch. 2 balls and a strike to Jackson. The A's have 2 outs. Nobody on. They were leading 2-0. The Dodgers tied it up the top of this inning. Each team has 2 runs. Each club has 4 hits. The Dodgers have made 1 error. The 2-1 delivery. And Jackson didn't know what to do with that pitch. 2-2. We pause briefly for identification. This is the NBC Television Network. Kurt Gowdy, Monty Moore, and Tony Kubek back with you in the Oakland Coliseum. Turn it over on him, and he fouls it away. So the Dodgers come with their 2 best tonight. Sutton, behind 2 runs. They made an early move, and it paid off. Pinch hitting for Sutton in the top of this inning, and bring Marshall on. Two balls, 2 strikes. We talked about the Dodgers all year of being resilient, and they're trying to prove it in their severest test of the season tonight.
Kurt Marshall's thrown a lot more fastballs to the A's batters, I believe, than they were looking for when the series started. He struck Jackson out, you recall, last night or the night before, in 3 straight fastballs, and he just threw him another good one right there.
He has a 3-2 count to Reggie Jackson. Jackson pounds it out to second baseman Lopes. The side's out, 1-2-3. We're going to the 7th inning with the game tied 2-2.
This is Don Rickles. Open this door. This yo-yo's going to wish he was still the mail boy. Listen, pal, your right-guard antiperspirant is wrecking my act. Everyone knows I make a living insulting people. I make them sweat. But this hockey puck helps keep them dry with his right guard. With his super dry anti-stain formula. Right guard protects people from me. Open up, you dummy. I bet he sits there all day with his right guard going.
You know, for years I was loyal to the same injector blades, but that was before the revolution. Before Gillette invented twin blades for injector razors, Gillette twin injector blades. See, they fit my injector razor. And nobody knows more about twin blade closeness and safety than Gillette. So grab your razor, join the injector revolution. Get Gillette Track 2 twin injector blades. You just might get the best injector shave of your life.
Well, depending on what happens here tonight, if the Dodgers win and go back to L.A. and win the 6th game, and we have a World Series in the 7th game, then we'd have a football-baseball doubleheader starting at 1 o'clock Eastern Time. Baltimore against the Jets, Cleveland Browns in Pittsburgh, New England against Buffalo, followed by World Series game number 7. Or, if the World Series is over before Sunday, we have a football doubleheader. Baltimore and the Jets, Cleveland at Pittsburgh, New England at Buffalo at 4 o'clock Eastern Time. San Diego versus Denver, Kansas City versus Miami. And right here in the Oakland Coliseum, Cincinnati Bengals against the Oakland Raiders. Check your local listings for the games in your area. Ron Say pops up the first pitch. Dick Green, the A's second baseman, squeezes it for out number 1. Say had been on twice with a single and a base on ball. That's the World Championship trophy. The A's win tonight. They'll be awarded that trophy in their locker room by Commissioner Bowie Kuhn.
Kurt, the first year the A's won the World Series in 1972, Charlie Finley had a duplicate copy of one of those made for every player.
And the Dodgers still are going to have a say about who gets that trophy. 3 times in World Series history has the club come back to win the series down 3 games to 1. Bando up for it. And Russell is out. 2 down in the 7th. 1925. Here's the replay of Bando. He didn't go too high on this one.
He was playing shallow. Russell runs well, does bunt on occasion. He has a very accurate arm, as you see right there.
In 25, Pittsburgh was down 3 games to 1 and beat Washington. 58, the Yankees were trailing Milwaukee 3 games to 1 and won the series. And the Tigers made a comeback against the Cardinals in 68. That one is sailing toward the seat, out of play. That's the World Series in 68, in which Mickey Lolich was a star, winning 3 games.
And hitting a big home run.
Yeager struck out twice, both swinging, both on breaking pitches. The game tied 2-2 in the 7th. Lindblad and Odom are still heating up in the A's bullpen. Flying away. We haven't seen Lindblad in the series, but he's been an excellent reliever this year, hasn't he, Monty?
Fantastic. He has the best earned run average on the Oakland Ball Club. Well under 2.
2-1.
An adjustment we talked about that Blue made in the first ball game, he has done now since he came up to this inning. Early, he was going over the top of his head in his windup. Now watch him. He'll go right from his waist. Something Wes Stock has picked up.
3 balls and a strike to Yeager.
He did it in the 4th inning, his last start, and he got that fastball back. Here he is again. And again, in ball player lingo, he was getting his body ahead of his arm.
He walks Yeager with 2 down. Mike Marshall, the Dodger pitcher, will come up. Professor Marshall, if you will.
Go back at the end of the season and conduct some classes at Michigan State with kinesiology. He had Steve Garvey's wife as a student, Herb Washington as a student.
What a year he had. He set the National League record for most appearances last year with Montreal and broke it with the Dodgers this year. Blasted it. Not bad hitter. Used to be a shortstop. He hit .235 this year for the Dodgers. Any pitcher batting over 200 is a better than average hitting pitcher.
He won a ball game for this club late in the season against the Cubs as a base runner when home plate was left unoccupied.
Blue is behind the opposing pitcher, 2-0. And now Dark is going to put the hook on. He signals out to John Odom. Come on. Gone far enough. 2 down. Blue has just walked Yeager. Here's Blue Moon Odom coming on with a count 2-0 to Mike Marshall. And a break in the action with a score tied to...
There's been a change in Charger. It's a whole new car. A different Charger than you've known by far. We've hardly kept a thing except the Charger name. Nothing else about it's gonna look the same. We've got this classic grille, this special window here, a lush fresher, plusher look from front to rear. Once you have seen the new Charger displayed, you're gonna love the change we made. You'll love the change we made.
Announcing the all-new luxurious Dodge Charger, Special Edition 75.
You'll love the change we made.
Perfect control to DuPont. DuPont throws it and scores! Pandemonium of last year's Stanley Cup final. Who'll take the cup this year? Find out when the NHL returns to NBC Sunday, January 5th.
Well, you saw the World Series, World Championship trophy. That was the Stanley Cup in hockey. NBC again with its coverage of the National Hockey League. Vida Blue's been walking it off up and down the Oakland dugout. He's gone. He went 6 2/3 innings, allowed 2 runs and 4 hits. The walk to Yeager, and then a 2-ball, no-strike count to Marshall got him out. The 19th consecutive series game that we have not had a complete game by either team. Odom pitching to Marshall. Ball 3. If Odom walks Marshall, the walk would be charged to the preceding pitcher, Vida Blue.
Kurt, this is a pretty tough situation for John Odom. He has trouble finding the plate early when he comes in out of that bullpen at times. He's been a real good middle-inning relief man, but...
He walked him, and he wasn't close.
That's a tough situation for John Odom to come in with a 2-0 count. He's done a tremendous job for Oakland in middle relief, coming in when the ball club is behind 3-1, 4-1, and with a job of holding the other ball club for 3 or 4 innings to allow either a Lindblad or Fingers to get in. He's in a very tough situation right here.
All right, the Dodgers have Yeager at second, Marshall at first, 2 outs. The top of the order, and Dave Lopes. Lopes is grounded out and walked twice, 0 for 1. Bando going back to third. A tie game in the 7th. The A's led 2-0 going to the top of the 6th when the Dodgers tied it up. And now they're threatening again. Comes in with a breaking ball. 0-1 to Dave Lopes.
Kurt, when he really needs to throw a strike, he'll go to the slider more than the fastball.
2 years ago, he won 15 games and had fantastic playoff against the Tigers for the A's. There's a slider again into him. 0-2.
That's his pitch, Kurt. He's got a good sinking fastball, but when he really wants strikes, he goes to the breaking ball.
The last man to pitch a complete game in the World Series was Steve Blass in the 7th game of the 1971 series. Pirates beat Baltimore. Blown away. And the incredible performance in that series by Roberto Clemente. One of the best individual performances in the history of the World Series. There's a mystery Steve Blass. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Lopes hits a ground ball to short. Campaneris to Green, 4th out. No runs, no hits, 2 left. The 7th-inning stretch in Oakland. It's still tied 2-2.
A 1-year-old diehard, a 2-year-old diehard, a 3-year-old diehard, and a 4-year-old diehard. More than 3 hours later, they all started. Even the 4-year-old diehard. The diehard, with extra power to start your car when most batteries won't. Sold only at Sears.
Every winter, it's a battle. You need the Sears steel-belted radial snow tire, so when your neighborhood streets turn against you, you'll have a tire that can help stop you and get you started again. Thanks to a radial design, 2 steel belts, and a snow-biting tread. Because in the battle against winter, you need all the help you can get. The Sears steel-belted radial snow tire, only at Sears.
And a big crowd on its feet. But God bless America. The program welcome NBC. Flip Wilson hosts his first special of the season with Peter Sellers, Martha Reeves, Richard Pryor, and special guest Lily Tomlin on Flip Wilson, of course. Tomorrow night at 8:30 Eastern Time, NBC. In the last of the seventh, Joe Rudy, Claudell Washington, and Ray Fosse.
Some little kid is here on A's Cap Day, looks like. Kurt, you know what a turnaround baseball has in 2 years on the same pitching staff. In 1972, the fifth game in the World Series, Vida Blue came out of the bullpen and bailed John Odom out for the last 4 innings against Detroit. Here we are in a big game in the World Series 2 years later, and it's Odom trying to bail out Vida Blue.
Joe Rudy has singled and sent a long fly to left field. And now we have action, a different action in the A's bullpen. Raleigh Fingers is up. Mike Marshall is there, man. Some of the shots you see with our 9 cameras. And the umpire's out talking to the left fielder, Buckner. We were talking about Harry Coyle earlier, and I want to say that I am amazed every year the production job done. The players on the field are the star of the World Series. We're the voices here, but I think for your TV enjoyment, the cameramen, the audio men, it's a small electronic city outside this stadium with over 100 people involved. The technical director, Gene Schwartz, in charge for setting it all up. Harry Coyle, 9 pictures in front of him. He must make instantaneous decisions. And our producer, Roy Hammerman, who was nominated last year for an Emmy Award for his production of the World Series. Give them the credit if you're enjoying World Series 74. We have both the New York and Los Angeles crew. You know, one of the reasons NBC does such a great job on baseball, all their people are baseball fans. They're really involved in it.
That includes the men who point those cameras. They played it as kids all the way up the line. Some had some professional experience in the minor leagues. And they're sports fans. They love it. The delay is because Bill Buckner had some papers showered on him in left field. He asked the left field umpire, Doug Harvey, to come on out and stop the action. Yeager, smart enough to pull his mask up to blow this bubble. And he won it all yesterday on the Joe Garagiola show. Beating out Andy Messersmith.
I thought he won it, going away.
The Dodgers are walking off the field, or some of them, Buckner especially. Now Alston is coming out. They've made a PA announcement to urge the fans to discontinue throwing debris on the field. Walner's going to have a talk with them. We saw it during the playoffs in Pittsburgh where Danny Murtaugh went out and calmed the people down.
I guess nothing will ever match the 1934 World Series when Ducky Medwick went out to left field. They showered him with vegetables and fruit, everything, and finally the then Commissioner Landis, ordered Medwick off the field. The Detroit fans were very unhappy.
They've thrown some heavy obstacles out there, Kurt. There was a bottle thrown out there.
The bottle that was thrown out. He's mad about it. He should be.
That's one thing. There was something else thrown at Buckner. We had one game here this year, Kurt, where Billy North was after a baseball and something whizzed by him, and when he caught the ball and went back over to see where it was, there was a knife sticking in the grass out there, right where he had been running, huh?
A knife?
Yes, right. It was sticking right in the ground, right where he had been. It's really hard to imagine what comes onto some fan who would throw something like that. They came out here to enjoy good baseball, and it can't be played as long as they're behaving like that.
Now, we could see later on, there's an apple or something that just bounded by Buckner, but surprised they haven't gone in to get their batting helmets.
The only reason I could imagine they'd be throwing at Buckner was his statement in the papers that only 3 men on the A's club, Rudy, Bando, and Jackson, can make the Dodgers squad. Maybe some of the fans presented that statement. There's Mrs. Bradley, Mrs. Tom Bradley, mayor's wife of Los Angeles. She missed only 6 games all year. She's listening to the game on a baseball radio. Listening to NBC radio. Well, we're set to go in the last of the 7th. World Series game number 5 is tied at 2-all. Joe Rudy's the batter. And everything's quieted down again. The A's have not scored since the 2nd. And Ray Fosse homered. There's a long drive. Boy, he hit it. No doubt about it when it left the bat. And an interesting part of the home run is during the delay of the game when the object was thrown in left field, Mike Marshall did not take one warm-up pitch. In fact, he walked out toward left field to get into the argument out there. He didn't take one warm-up pitch, and maybe that cost him.
Kurt, I was watching him during that time. It was amazing to me, but knowing Marshall, of course, he's thrown enough all summer to be good and loose. Joe Rudy is the only A's player who's really hit Marshall. That's 3 hits he's had off of him. A bunt single, a single to knock in 2 runs in the game the other night, and then the home run there. So Rudy is the one batter the A's have who will wait on the off-speed pitch and hit it.
Kurt, Andy Olson, the home plate umpire, just walked halfway out to the mound of Marshall, and almost as an afterthought, he said to him, I believe, would you like to throw some warm-up pitches while all this stuff is being cleared off the field? Marshall just shrugged his shoulders and says, no, I'm all right. No excuse whatsoever on the home run by Rudy. He's an amazing man, Mike Marshall. When you talk with him, he's considered one of baseball's intellectuals. He's difficult to understand. And if he doesn't like the question that you ask him, if he thinks it's too petty, he turns and walks away. There's no time for idle chatter.
Well, Joe Rudy, with his home run, has knocked in his 4th run of this series. He's the leading RBI man. Mike Marshall is still standing on the mound, is not throwing another warm-up pitch. He's waiting. And they clear the field again. So the A's have the lead back again, 3-2. That ball was really smashed by Rudy. Brought Al Washington to slide out and single. A ball to him. That's the first run the A's have off Mike Marshall in 7 innings of relief. Two homers by the A's tonight, Fosse and Rudy, each with nobody on. Washington looking down the 3rd for his time. Hitter takes. Went after it, 2-1 to him. Ray Fosse's on deck.
Kurt, Ray Fosse's on deck waiting. The way Wally Fingers is throwing in the Oakland bullpen, it might indicate that he's going to be coming on to pitch after this half inning.
He and Marshall are matching each other for busy fellows in this series. The 2-1 delivery. There's a pop foul. May be playable. Say going over. Has plenty of room in this big open foul ground in the Oakland Coliseum. 1 down. Ray Fosse homered in the 2nd. Bounced to the pitcher in the 4th. The A's ahead 3-2. When Rudy goes to first base, I'll bet the fans in left field, his regular rooters, will give him a hand. Rudy's rooters out there, but they're a long ways from where Joe Rudy is now. A strike, although they could put Rudy back and left and bring Gene Tennis in as first base.
Now that they've got that lead, they very well could make that move, Kurt.
An interesting observation, that lineup change. That ball is tapped foul. The A's players, all of you know, are outspoken. They speak their minds. They say that When they bring Rudy into first base, that weakens the A's at left field. And also weakens the A's at first base. Dennis is a better first baseman than Rudy. And nobody can match Rudy in left field. They don't like the change.
I think that might have been true before Claudell Washington, but he is an excellent outfielder.
Fosse is the second strikeout victim of Mike Marshall. So the A's have 2 down. Right now, 1 swing of the bat on the first pitch to Joe Rudy is the difference in this game after we had a delay of over 5 minutes to clear the field of objects thrown there in left field. Dick Green is lined to center and flying to right. You know, he hasn't had a hit. He's in the running for the most valuable player of the series.
Not since Brooks Robinson dominated the series in, I forget what year, but he had a fantastic series against Pittsburgh defensively.
Jim Holt has come out on deck. The ball. Jim Holt. If Green would get on, he would pinch hit for Odom. And Fingers would come on in the 8th inning. A 1-1 delivery. Foul away.
Holt, who came on last night in the ball game and got the big hit with the bases loaded, driving home 2 in that sensational play at home plate. Jackson upsetting Yeager.
The unlikely hero last night. The 1-2 pitch. Screwball, and he just got a piece of it. Until Rudy homered, the last 4 innings, only 12 A's had gone to the plate. And that's foul back. 2 down, nobody on. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Dick Green. The A's with a 1-run lead. In the Dodger 8th, they'll have Buckner, Wynn, and Garvey up. Another foul. Andy Messersmith. Don Sutton alongside of him. Oh, they're loose for being 1 run behind in a game they have to win. One ball, 2 strikes. He taps that one to third. It's foul. The Penguin up with it. Dodgers have used over 45 players at third in the last 10 years. Now they have one that they should be all set for quite a spell. Ron Cey finally found their man. It's odd how some clubs have one trouble filling the position. Seems to be a jinx position in every club. He waved at the screwball way outside. 1 run, 1 hit, the home run by Joe Rudy. Nobody left.
Where do you want the freezer in your new Amana refrigerator? On the top, on the bottom, or on the side? This 3-door has the only automatic ice cube and cold water dispenser that is completely separate from the doors. Inside it has the refrigerator within a refrigerator with its own temperature control that keeps meat fresher longer because super cold air surrounds the outside without drying the meat. Amana has the freezer where you want it, top, bottom, or side.
Hello, Chrysler. We've got your plug. Champion has been original equipment in Chrysler for over a decade. And Champion's got the right spark plug for just about every Chrysler engine ever made. Champion is the #1 selling spark plug all over the world. And Champion has the right spark plug for just about every car in the world. So if you drive a Chrysler, Plymouth, Dodge, or Imperial, remember, when you tune it up, we've got your plug.
We pause now for station identification.
It's a dramatic landmark. See The Law, a 2.5-hour world premiere Tuesday.
Rudy's rooters gaze down on their hero now in his customary left field position, and Gene Tennis has gone in to play first base. Claudell Washington has been taken out, and Rollie Fingers is the new pitcher. Fingers' first delivery to Bill Buckner is 0-1. There's his record in World Series competition. His fourth game in this series and his 16th lifetime World Series game in relief. That's a series record. An all-time World Series record. He buzzes a fastball over. And the crowd roaring now in every picture in Oakland. The old record was 12 World Series appearances by Clem Labine. 16 for Rollie Fingers, all in the last 3 years. Off-speed pitch is tapped foul. Fingers in this series has pitched 7 in the third inning. He's been tagged at times. He's allowed 7 hits, 2 runs, and 2 homers. He gave up only 5 homers all year and has allowed 2 homers in this series.
Fingers, a power pitcher. He has that fastball that sinks and moves away from a left-hander. They come from the side on the right-handed hitters. And has a good slider.
And he's facing a difficult out, Bill Buckner. Buckner lines it into right center, and the Dodgers have the tying run on. Ball gets away. And on to second. North played that casually. He's coming on to third to throw. Out! Talked about. North let the ball get away from him as he played it casually out there. Jackson backed it up, and Dick Green made the throw.
And the Dodgers get burned on good execution on a relay play. Reggie Jackson backing up the play for Greeny. A dumb base running move by Bill Buckner. He knows it right now. He played overly aggressive baseball, and it could hurt the Dodgers. There it is. North nonchalance at the start with, but look at Reggie. And watch this throw to Green. He got rid of the ball. 2 perfect throws. Great execution once again by the A's.
What a relay throw. You saw how quickly he got rid of it. He has that strong arm. He has something on every throw from any position that he's making a throw, and he continues to be the defensive star of this series. Here's the relay throw again. Watch him unload right on the money to Sal Bando. As Buckner is out at third. He should have been on second with nobody out. The tying run on second.
Kurt, I feel Buckner ran in because of what we've heard. The Dodgers scouting reports have told their players to run on the A's outfielders and to run on Dick Green. And that scouting report has not proven to be very accurate here in this series.
Jim Wynn is fouled out, bounced out, fly to left with a sacrifice fly to bring in a run. Now Rollie Fingers is behind 3-0, and Captain Bando decides to have a visit with him. And he's always telling Fingers, don't you ever make it easy for us. And Fingers usually says, get back to third, and I'll do the pitching. That was a single for Buckner, an error charge to North, who let the single get away from him. That's a strike. And the relay came in from right fielder Jackson, the second baseman Green, with a perfect throw to Bando at third to get Buckner. 1 out, nobody on. 3-1 pitch. 3-2 to Jim Wynn.
Kurt, the base running in this series has not been good, especially on the part of the Dodgers. They've been behind in ball games, have gotten doubled off on line drives when they should make sure the ball goes through. And they've tried to force mistakes, which they've done all season, but they haven't been able to force the A's into mistakes.
Couldn't have a better relay throw than that, Tony. He used to make a lot of relay throws coming in from left. You know what it takes.
He got rid of the ball very quickly. He needed no help from anyone else. He knew right where the runner was. He was looking back and forth at the ball and the man, and there's Dick Green, and what he's done in the past few ball games is amazing defensively.
Let's give Jackson some credit for hitting the relay man. That's ball 4, and again the Dodgers have the tying run on. Here in the 8th inning with the A's ahead 3-2.
Kurt, you made a big point on Jackson because he has had a tendency over the years to try his best to throw that ball all the way to third base by himself in that situation, but here he hit his relay man perfectly.
Wes Stock, the pitching coach, out to talk to Fingers. In the meantime, in the A's bullpen, they're getting more action. That's Paul Lindblad, their best left-handed relief pitcher. But this is mostly a right-handed hitting Dodger batting order.
Odd twist of things, Kurt. Another change in the same pitching staff in a year. Last year in the World Series, Darrell Knowles in all 7 games of the series has not even been up throwing in this series.
Buckner led off with a single, went to second on an error by the center fielder, tried to take third and was thrown out. Now Wynn has walked. The tying run at first. Wynn's a good base runner. Garvey singled in 3 times. He knocked it around.
That's not quite the right spot as we look at Ferguson. That Fingers wants to get that slider up and in. Or high, anyway. One can get jacked out of the ballpark.
This series went 6 or 7 games. Garvey would have a shot at the all-time record. It's a high fly ball. Jackson settling under it. 2 down. 13 hits to the series of the all-time record. Garvey has 8. Joe Ferguson now. Ferguson has single. Taking a call, 3rd strike. Flying to left.
Alvin Dark is sending Sal Bando out to the pitching mound almost every hitter, refreshing Raleigh's mind and what Ferguson likes best, trying to get him to get the ball down.
Before this game slips away, we want to wish a happy birthday to Junior Gilliam, the Dodger first base coach. He's 46 years old today, played in 7 World Series on 4 World Championship teams. There's a long blast, and I think it's going to be foul. Foul ball by Joe Ferguson. It's deep down the left field line.
Kurt, that ball went into the second deck out there, and there have only been 2 fair ball home runs hit into that second deck since the A's have played here. Bobby Darwin of the Minnesota Twins hit one in there, and oddly enough, Dick Green of the A's hit the other one in there, but he hit it well back in.
Fingers has been touched up more, roughed up more in this series than he has been the previous 2.
Yes, and, well, he's throwing against some pretty good hitters, and he's come on late in the game with the Dodgers are really trying to let it go.
1 strike to Joe Ferguson. Win at first, 2 down. High and away.
Valley seems to be more erratic.
Time called.
Breaking ball than I've seen him. He gets some good ones on the corner, but then he hangs them inside as he did that one that Ferguson just drilled foul.
Dodgers asked for time. Jim Wynn, they got a sign straightened out. Wynn chatting with his coach, Jim Gilliam. 1-1 pitch. That's right in there, a fastball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. They're deep for Ferguson. Bill North's not playing him shallow now. He's way out there, the deepest. There goes a runner. There's a little pop in the shallow center. North comes on and has it. No runs, a hit, 1 there, 1 left. After the 8th inning, 3-2.
There's been a change in Charger. It's a whole new car. A different Charger than you've known by far. We've hardly kept a thing except the Charger name. Nothing else about it's gonna look the same.
Announcing the new Dodge Charger, Special Edition 75.
You'll love the change we made.
I have a birthday present for you, my love.
Oh, goody.
It's outside.
Oh, another car. How nice. Now we have a set.
No, this is our same car. Your present's in the back.
Oh. Oh, thank you, Bumpkins. It's a Sony.
Our unique 1-gun, 1-lens system is yet to be equaled. That's why when there's a TV in the back seat, usually it's a Sony.
Let's watch The Billionaire.
Gene Tennis will hit in the number 9 spot leading off. And now an interesting story in the A's bullpen. Jim Hunter is warming up, the ace of the staff. He would pitch if this series goes to 6 games in Los Angeles Saturday. This could be a combination tune-up, or he could come in and face a batter or two if needed, like he did in Los Angeles Saturday when he struck out Joe Ferguson to wind up the first game.
Kurt, Raleigh Fingers has thrown a lot in this series. He pitched 4 1/3 innings the first game. Twice he's gone an inning and 2/3, an inning and a third last night. And it's not been an easy outing for him anytime he's gone out there. He's had to throw hard every pitch he's thrown. So it's very conceivable that if he gets in trouble in the 9th inning, Catfish Hunter, who will be loose by then, could come in and try to get an out or two.
And as I recall, Monty, Catfish in Los Angeles Saturday had made his first relief appearance in 5 years.
5 years, and he said it's the only time in 5 years he's ever been nervous.
Gene Tennis up for his first time. 2 out of 8 in the series. He was the most valuable player of the 72 series against the Reds, hitting 2 homers his first 2 times at bat, setting a series record. Mike Marshall. That pitch is a strike. Bert Campaneris on deck at the top of the order, and then Bill North. Campaneris. Marshall's given up only 1 hit. So that's the big one right now when Joe Rudi hit a homer. The first pitch to him in the 7th inning. After we had a delay of over 5 minutes. Some objects thrown in left field. Rips the foul. A ball and 2 strikes. Playing tennis to pull to left field. Took a little off. 2-2 count. Tennis has seen very few fastballs in this World Series. He's a strict fastball hitter. That's the breaking stuff to him. 3rd strikeout in a row for Marshall, and he's 4th in relief. He's made only 1 mistake, and that was a home run ball to Rudi. Bert Campaneris, a single in 3 times. Pitches in for a strike. 3-2 Oakland, last of the 8th inning. I want to thank our statistician, Alan Roth, for his fine work in this series at the strike, our production stage manager, Jim O'Gorman, and our field coordinator, Hugh McDermott. Now we have a 2-strike count. That's a foul ball headed toward the Oakland bullpen. In the 9th inning, the last shot for the Dodgers, they'll have Say, Russell, and Yeager up. Thus we see some pinch hitters. The first 3 games, the final score, 3-2, 3-2, 3-2. And the score in this game is 3-2. And he lays a bunt down, and he's on. He'll bunt on 2 strikes. He caught Say playing back. A perfect bunt. Watch him. Dumped it off the fat part of the bat. Dropped that bat at the last second to disguise the bunt. Say had no play. Say has a weakness at third, is charging the bunt or the ball tapped slowly. Bill North now looks down for a possible hit-and-run play here. A bunt. Sal Bando's on deck. An extra run could be a big run for the A's. And they have North trying to bunt, and he fouls it off. The A's have 3 runs, 6 hits. The Dodgers have 2 runs, 5 hits. Campaneris at first. They've stopped him without a steal in this series. Marshall's move, they're wary of Marshall. One strike count to Bill North. Pitch crowded him. 1-1. If the A's hold the Dodgers in the ninth, they're the world champions for the third time in a row. Don Sutton pitched the first 5 innings. He was just getting in the groove. They lifted him for a pinch hitter. And the Dodgers came up with 2 runs in the 6th inning to tie the game. Marshall has pitched since. North having trouble bunting in this series. In fact, he's 1 out of 16. He hasn't hit for the last 2 or 3 weeks. In fact, Alvin Dark, the A's manager, says the club hasn't hit since August 1st. But they're winning. Now another object out in the field. I understand they've already selected the most valuable player in the series. Well, we'll have to see what the Dodgers do in the 9th inning first. The word we have received unofficially is Raleigh Fingers. That's unofficial. If he holds the Dodgers in the 9th. If he doesn't, he'll lose that award very quickly. 2 balls, 2 strikes. To Bill North, 1 out. Campaneris at first. The A's are ahead, 3-2. North being played to left field.
Marshall checking, still checking. Campaneris a short lead, and backing out is Bill North. No pitch. So the count is 2-2. North backed out. Time was called as Marshall was releasing the ball. And, of course, pitchers talk to themselves about that. They feel it is an unfair advantage for a hitter to be able to back out while they're in the middle of pitching, yet they can't break their delivery with a man on base or it's ruled a balk. And North just backed out just as Mike was ready to pitch. The plate umpire naturally has to consider the possibility of injury to the hitter. So as soon as he starts backing away, the umpire calls timeout. 2-2. 3-2 Oakland, bottom of the 8th, 1 out. Campaneris held on by Garvey. Bill North hitting left-handed, waiting. There goes Campy. The 2-2 pitch is low and ties him up, and Yeager drops it. And stealing second base unmolested is Bert Campaneris. For Campaneris, he has not done any running in the series. He's 1 for 2 now. It was a breaking ball that tied up North. He took it for ball 3, and it was a tough pitch for Yeager to handle since it was down and into the hitter. And Yeager couldn't hold on to it, but there's no way he's going to come up with a hard, low inside breaking ball with a left-hand hitter up and still be able to throw out Campaneris. No way. So 3-2 to Bill North. 1 out, Campaneris at second. 3-2 Oakland, bottom of the 8th. Marshall out of a stretch. A backward glance at second. And a 3-2 pitch. Fastball. Hit to straightaway center. Wynn goes back. Tagging is Campy. Wynn with no arm. Campy's going to go to third. Pretty good throw, but it's still late. So Bill North hits a fly ball to Jimmy Wynn, and that moves Campaneris to third. So with 2 out in the 8th inning, Oakland leading the Dodgers 3-2, and Sal Bando the batter. Bando had a scoring fly ball in the first inning, flied to center in the third, and struck out in the sixth. Marshall will pitch out of a stretch with Campaneris coming down the line. So Bando waiting. Say is up one step or so instead of very deep at third. And Marshall, a sidearm fastball, hit back to the mound. Marshall has it, turns, and throws him out. So for the A's in the eighth, no runs, one hit, a runner left at third. And at the end of eighth, Oakland 3 and the Dodgers 2.
Listen, ordinary batteries are great for flashlights, but not for a camera you use a lot. So come to the top. If you work your calculator hard and you need a battery that can work hard too, come to the top of the Everready line. Come to the Everready Alkaline Power Cell, our best, longest-lasting power source. No ordinary battery ever made works so hard, so long. Repeat, no ordinary battery ever made works so hard, so long as the Everready Alkaline Power Cell. Now you can get a $1 refund on specially marked packages of Everready Alkaline Power Cells. Details at participating Everready dealers. Come to the top. Come to the Everready Alkaline Power Cell.
Well, to the ninth inning, with Oakland 3 outs away from their third consecutive World Championship. They've won 3 of the 4, and they're leading 3-2 here in the ninth. 3 runs, 6 hits, 1 error for Oakland, 2 runs, 5 hits, and 1 error for the Dodgers. Lindblad, the left-hander, Hunter, the right-hander, throwing in the A's bullpen. And in a moment, Ron Cey will be coming up. Cey will be followed by Bill Russell, and then we'll see about a Dodger hitter. Whether Yeager will bat, or whether they will go to one of the 3 left-hand hitters available, Joshua, Hopkins, or Crawford. That's the reason why Lindblad is up. So 3-2 Oakland in the ninth inning. Ron Cey, single to left, walked, and popped up. Rollie Fingers ready and deals, and he's down and away, ball 1, 1-0. The Dodgers ran themselves out of an inning in the eighth, but of course they ran themselves partially why they got into the World Series in the first place. The 1-0 pitch to Ron Cey. Overhand fastball, a strike, outside corner, 1-1. Fingers, a marvelous pitcher, big right-hander, sidearm over the top either way, makes life very miserable for right-hand batters. Back with a fastball, and that's hit to right field. Jackson on the ball, to the track, and makes the catch. And almost dropped it, evidently. He lowered his head. I think that ball must have slipped around in the glove, but he held on to it. 1 away. So that might be Ron Cey's last at-bat. And now Willie Crawford will come up and hit for Bill Russell. It is a long year. The only way you can experience a long baseball season is to go through it. And that means from the first day of spring training, day after day and night after night, 4 a.m. arrivals, late flights, coffee in the wee small hours, waiting on bags, unpacking, packing, and unpacking again, homestands and road trips, rainy nights at home and on the road. And all that long, hot time boils down to this. The Dodgers have 2 outs left in the World Series. The A's are leading 3-2, and Willie Crawford will be the batter. Crawford hit one out in a hurry the other night. He has hit a dozen home runs this year, counting the one he hit, and Alvin Dark said, wait a minute. And he's gone out to talk to Fingers. Raleigh has not been that impressive in the last couple of appearances. The Dodgers have hit the ball pretty hard against him, and he'd be the first to admit that he has gotten away with a couple. Tonight he got away, On the 0-2 base hit by Buckner, the error, and then Buckner's daring, shot down by Dick Green. Say hits the ball hard and deep to right, but Jackson goes to the warning track to flag it. And with one out, here is Willie Crawford. Crawford's home run came against Fingers in the 9th inning of a game won by Oakland, you guessed it, 3-2. Crawley ready and deals. Fastball away. Ball one. I think more than anything else, Alvin wanted to make sure Fingers knew how to pitch to Crawford. Normally in the National League, they try to get that fastball on top of him. Fingers didn't quite get it in enough the other night, and Willie shot it out of here. The 1-0 pitch on the way. Fastball swung on and missed. 1-1. Crawford backs out, arching his back. You come in cold, although on a hot night in Oakland, cold is a euphemism for just not starting in the game. The 1-1 pitch. Fastball on the hands, popped up. Dick Green is calling. Campaneris goes to the bag, and Greeny puts it away. And now the A's are 1 out away, and the batter will be Vaughn Joshua, batting for Steve Yeager. Joshua hitting for Yeager. 2 out in the 9th. It was Joshua who hit against Fingers last night. He hit a fastball up the middle, and Green, as always, was in the right spot to turn in the game-ending double play. Fingers said later he was going to move Green, but Green, a marvelous positioner, and he decided to let him stay, and it was just as well for Fingers. 1 out away from the championship by the Oakland A's. Fingers deals a comebacker. Fingers has it and throws to first. Here at the Oakland Coliseum. High up in the heavens, the rockets are going off. Down on the field, thousands of youngsters pouring out of the stands. The ball players battling for their lives to get back into the dressing room. And the A's have done it. They have beaten a young and inexperienced Los Angeles club 4 games to 1. And in 4 wins, 3 of the 4 games decided by the score of 3-2. For Oakland, 3 runs, 6 hits, 1 error. And for the Dodgers, 2 runs, 5 hits, and 1 error. We'll have more right after this message.
Who makes it go? Now there's the breeze. White owls at 2. Great taste in tobacco from 5 different countries. Too hot for the y'all to know. Y'all to know. White owls at 2.
There's a little town in western Pennsylvania called Oil City where they make peace of mind for car owners. Quaker State Motor Oil. They refine it from 100% pure Pennsylvania-grade crude oil, the world's choicest. Then they fortify it to protect your engine against heat and rust and dirt and wear. Quaker State. Who says you can't buy peace of mind?
Quaker State, your car. You keep it running young. You keep it running young.
Commissioner Boykuhn has just presented the trophy to Captain Sal Bando. Let's go down to the dressing room.
Actually, just 1-run games every time. We're going to keep it alive in 75. Mr. Commissioner, on behalf of my teammates and Mr. Finley, thank you very much, and we hope we're back here next year, and God bless all of you. Thank you.
Reggie Jackson's joined the crowd. Reggie, congratulations.
Thanks a lot, Tony. Nice to be a part of it, man. I ain't got nothing to say.
That was a pretty good... Oh, you don't want to do that. Don't do that.
before. Somebody said they were going to get you, Mr. Commissioner. All right, Commissioner. What do you think of that? Huh? He's a program guy. Reggie, that is one heck of a throw you made in right field against Buckner through Greeny. Thanks, Tony. I saw a bit that Billy might get a bad hop. The ball bounced over his glove, and luckily Greeny was right there with a great arm, and Greeny, all hit, no field, made a great play to Bando. We were out of it. Our Latin American friend, Dagoberto Campaneris, congratulations for 3 consecutive. Yes, I'm so happy to win that for 3 times in a row. What about a comment, Sal, on this Dodger ball club? You beat them in 4-5, but they could turn around next week and they may do the same thing to you. Well, Tony, they're a great ball club. They remind me of the A's in 1972, and I think they're going to be here many years to come, and I wish them the best of luck, and we'll hope to see them next year. Reggie? Tony, the Dodgers have a great ball club. I don't think we ever really saw the real Dodger club. I think that the reason we beat them was because of the fact we played with a little more poise, a little more experience. We took advantage of the opportunities, and I feel today, I know they're a great club. I believe we're the best in baseball, but I don't think we really saw the best Dodger club. Reggie, also, pitching is such an important part during a regular season and also during a short series, and your pitching was superb once again. Thanks, Tony. Thanks to me. Let somebody else come here. Okay, Monty, here's Ray Fosse. Okay, here's Ray Fosse, the catcher for the A's. Ray, we got our microphone cord hung here. I knew we'd get this. Ray Fosse hit a big home run. You had a big World Series. You had a big playoffs, Ray. You just made some fantastic throws, and it looked to me like the spirit that Ray Fosse had and the great job you did in the playoffs kind of turned this club on. Thank you, Monty. It's just a great feeling. Last year was great, but, it's even greater to win it the second time. A lot of them the third time, and it's just great, and I'd want to do it again next year. Ray, how were the pitchers throwing today? 5 of the first 6 innings. Looked in the press box as if you were throwing a few more breaking balls, but very good. Yes, he was, Monty. He was throwing real good breaking balls. He was throwing the ball hard, but he started losing it. If I had the inning that they scored 2 runs, he lost it a little bit. Tried to get inside. He didn't have the good fastball. Raleigh Fingers, I don't see how he did it, but he just continues to keep on throwing. Every time you turn around, Ray, congratulations. Here's the man in green who really puts color into baseball and in the World Series, Charlie Finley. Once more in 74, 3 in a row. How do you feel right now?
Monty, I feel beautifully, and each year it just gets better and better. And you know what our theme song, our motto was this year? Once more in 74. We've already got it going now for next year. We jive in 75, and I'm so proud of this ball club. A great group of athletes and a wonderful bunch of gentlemen. So it's real happy to be here. We want to next year try to make it 4 in a row. Thank you very much.
Charlie, I'd like to ask you one question if I could. I'm going to put you on the spot. Will Alvin Dark be back next year?
Well, I'll have to talk to Alvin about that. We've been so busy winning the division title and the American League and now the World Championship. So now Alvin and I will have a little time for the first time to sit down and talk and discuss things.
He's done a good job, hasn't he?
I think he's done an excellent job.
He's been a very honest man all season long. He says he talks with you, and
there's no question about it. He's a fine gentleman, and we've been very happy to have him.
Thank you, Charlie. Okay.
The words of Charles O. Finley, and in the dressing room, Reggie Jackson, the incomparable, the irrepressible, the incorrigible, poured champagne over Commissioner Bowie Kuhn, who doesn't like the idea of champagne in the dressing room, but all anyway. And then Charles O. Finley refused to say whether or not definitely Alvin Dark would be back to manage the world champions next year. We'll be back with more World Series coverage in just 1 minute. A good shave and a good shave cream go hand in hand. You'll get that good shave with Foamy Shave Cream by Gillette. Foamy has the thick, rich lather that tells you Gillette knows just about everything there is to know about shaving. Rich, creamy Foamy keeps your beard moist, makes shaving easy. That's why more men reach for Foamy than any other shave cream. When you want a good shave, get the great shave cream. Thick, rich Foamy by Gillette.
Enough is enough. America, take your pick. Rickles or Rycon. This country's not big enough for both of us. You know, my act is making people sweat. But how can I make you sweat if you're always using Rycon antiperspirant? Rycon has a super dry anti-stain formula to help keep you dry. I'm trying to get you hot and bothered, and Rycon helps keep you cool. One of us has got to go. It's up to you. Rickles or Rycon? You'd rather have Rickles. Wouldn't you?
Well, the short score again as the A's win it 4-1, 3 runs, 6 hits, 1 error. For
Los Angeles 2 runs, 5 hits, and 1 error. Loses Mike Marshall. He gave up the home run to Joe Rudy, the winner. He pitched only a third of an inning as Blue Moon Odom. And the A's have won this World Series, getting only 30 hits in 5 games. And Vin Scully, the only game the Dodgers won was when the tying run, Herb Washington, was picked off first base in the 9th inning. That seemed very big at the moment. But Billy Buckner ran the Dodgers out of a chance to survive for at least another game in this World Series.
I think everybody connected with the series, all of the writers and broadcasters, all of us have to be careful in one respect, because you constantly talk about the Dodger mistakes, which, of course, take some of the luster off the Oakland A's championship. They're the champions, and they've won it. The Dodgers made life miserable for themselves, and that one quality that we talked about at the start of the series, the maturity and the experience of the Oakland A's, would that be a factor in this series? And I think indeed it was. It was first in the Dodger mistakes, and secondly, it was in the A's ability to cash them in. And they even cashed in an offensive mistake. And of course, that shows you how it went. There were quite a few Dodger mental errors, throwing errors, fielding errors, errors of commission. And then tonight, when they made one more error, a base running error, well, he still might have made it to third, except for a perfect throw by Dick Rain. So again, as we said, all of us have to be careful. We talk about the Dodger mistakes. We talk about how their mistakes lost the World Series. But by no means do we want to take anything away from the champion Oakland A's. They well deserved their win. They well deserved their third championship in a row. And to get back to the biggest single difference, I guess, it would be that the A's came in experienced with 3 outstanding starting pitchers and an outstanding relief pitcher. The Dodgers came in inexperienced, 2 outstanding starters, 1 outstanding reliever, and so they were a buck short.
And yet, then I'll guarantee you the next time around, in whatever sport it is, the young team, even though the experts will say, look out for that experience, look out for that maturity, people will say, has nothing to do with it. Good hitting, good running, good throwing, whatever it may be, will out. But
if the Dodgers, Jim, had won this series, people would have said, you see, they're hungry, they're young, while the A's were fat and complacent. So you can look at it any way you want.
That's right, but maturity does count for a lot, and the Dodgers, as Sal Bando said in the dressing room, remind him of the A's of 1972. And said Sal Bando, the Dodgers are going to be in a lot more World Series real quick. We'll be back with the final roundup of today's final World Series game in just 1 minute.
Chrysler Corporation's new 12-month unlimited mileage warranty promises that any part we supply on your 1975 Dodge, Plymouth, or Chrysler passenger car, which proves defective in the first full year of normal service, regardless of mileage, will be fixed without charge by your Chrysler Motors Corporation dealer, with the following exceptions: tires.
That's all the exceptions?
That's all.
For how many miles?
As many miles as you can drive in 1 full year.
But, what's the catch? I mean, what do I have to do?
Just take care of normal maintenance, such as changing filters and wiper blades.
Wow. I call that very confident.
We call it the clincher.
The clincher?
The clincher from Chrysler Corporation. It's going to take better care of the people who buy our cars.
The crowd continues to mill about on the field. The excitement, of course, has just begun in Oakland. For the Dodgers, it's wait till next year. And for Vin Scully, our thanks to you for being with us before the NBC microphone.
Jimmy, thank you. It was nice working with you. It was a fine series. And now I'm going to go home and shut up until next spring training.
And I have a hunch I'll see you right here in the same booth next year with the Dodgers. Our engineer has been John Cameron. Our NBC producer, Hal Ashby. Now this is Jim Simpson for Vin Scully, saying goodbye from excited Oakland Coliseum in Oakland, California. This broadcast has been authorized under broadcast rights granted by the Commissioner of Baseball solely for the entertainment of our listening audience. And any publication, rebroadcast, or other use of the descriptions and accounts of the game without the express consent of the Commissioner of Baseball is prohibited. And the Commissioner of Baseball has the right of approval of the announcers of this event. The 5th and final game of the 1974 World Series has been brought to you by the makers of Everready Alkaline Power Cell. Come to the top with Everready's best, longest-lasting power source. By the Gillette Track 2 shaving system. It's the closest thing to a perfect shave. By your nearby Dodge dealer who invites you to see the change in Charger. It's a whole new car. The Kemper Insurance Company. They're with you for the long ride.
and by the makers of Quaker State Motor Oil. Available more places than ever, now that you need it more than ever. The final score in the final and fifth game of the World Series, Oakland 3, Los Angeles 2. This has been an NBC Radio Network sports presentation.